What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ. We're here to pop. It's gonna be awesome. We are the cards.
Guys, you hear about this mostly nitpicking? Yeah, apparently he's gonna be here in this podcast, and then so all the feds set up this trap, right? And they're gonna catch him. By the way, my name's Diggins. I'm a really weird customer service guy when you get right down to it.
Yeah. And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woohoo! As you were saying your thing, I was like, I forget what I say next because I was just so into it, you know? That human dialogue, I could appreciate it in a way that, you know, very few movies are able to do.
You felt so in it was really the thing.
It was that everybody that's listening can't see it, but on camera, Dick is staring right into my eyes. And that's how people talk, you know? Like that eye contact is what matters.
Yes, directly. And it just slowly, your face is just slowly zooming in on my face as I'm talking.
And I'm smiling because I don't want you to know that I think it's a little weird, but I'm giving you a big old grin. But then maybe I'll give you a scowl. We'll see. But speaking of things to scowl about, you guys, D23, wowee, they showed all the stuff.
About that now?
Oh, I don't know. Some people scowl about it, I guess. Somebody in D23, who's a character that they talked about in D23 who's going to scowl?
Oh, is it going to be all the competitor cruise lines when they see Disney's new fleet of like 11 cruise ships or whatever?
Wow, no, do they have new cruise ships?
They're releasing like, I think by like 2031 they're gonna have like, oh my god, like 7. It's like some obscene number, but yeah.
Oh my god, they're gonna invade somewhere. Where do you think they're gonna invade?
I honestly, they could probably take over a small island nation at this point.
They really could.
But
yeah,
that was my big news at D23. I don't know about you guys, but I saw those cruise ships and I'm like, whoa, this is huge.
It's huge.
They were so right to fire the other guy and put Iger back in. They crushed it.
Wait, you're telling me that instead of land cruises, sea cruises are the future?
Sea cruises are the future. Yeah.
Yeah, one of their cruises looks suspiciously like a big building. Lots of floaties tied to it. Oh, man. They couldn't have talked about that at D23, right?
No.
There was no.
Do
you think you could get into D23 wearing like a Galactic Star Cruiser costume, like dressed as the Star Cruiser itself? People have some crazy costumes with this thing.
Yeah, they might kill you on sight.
Do you think you could walk into D23 being Jenny Nicholson?
Was she blacklisted? Was she put on the blacklist?
I mean, probably not, but it's funny to think about.
I do think I feel like I saw Jenny talk about this because she was also obviously live tweeting some of this or just tweeting her reactions. She said something that I said as a joke while I was watching it, but then afterwards I'm like, you know what? Actually true. That one of the things that they announced, because they announced a lot of stuff that's never going to get made, like Villains Land or something. Mm-hmm. And when I saw this at home, I was like trying to catch up to that dark universe heat. But then Jenny was like, I think they're scared of Epic Universe and how much cool shit that's going to have. And they're trying to like, you know, catch up to that. So maybe that's going to be the hotness. Maybe we are actually going to have to go.
Isn't competition good though? Like competition breeds like I don't know. You gotta get on your game. You can't just be like sitting on your laurels. That's
one theory.
Yeah, or you could consolidate all competition underneath you, and then people just have to accept whatever practices and prices you set because there's no alternative.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that is the other option.
And speaking of that, what other cool news was there? Diggins, who's your favorite scowler at D23? Character from a thing that's gonna scowl. Good scowl.
I love their attempts to make the live action Lion King characters emote that, if anything, look even more horrible.
Yeah, it's tough because it looks better as like an effect, but that makes it look worse as a thing. You know, like
yeah.
Did you guys both watch the Mufasa Lion King Origins or whatever trailer?
Wild horses couldn't drag me in front of a screen playing it.
Oh, you're missing out. Diggins, you don't even believe it. There's a one bit where one of the lions, an evil lion. Well, wait, DJ, have you seen it?
I haven't, no.
Okay, there's one bit where one of the lions, an evil lion that is white, And by that, I mean like, covered in white. Like
I did see the white lion.
Yeah, I don't know if these are real lions or what.
Bad guy is white lion.
Yeah, he's super white. It's played by Mads Mikkelsen, I think.
Who is also super white? Is that what
exactly? So maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Grindelwald's own. Yeah, and he says the line or something like, "There will only be one Lion King," or something like that. Like finally, somebody uses the word Lion King.
I love it.
Yeah,
incredible.
Yep. It's gonna be pretty good. Scar is in it, but he has a real name, and every time a character said it in the trailer, I was like, "That's not Scar's name. It's like Tubo or something like that." But yeah, they're gonna scowl in that for sure.
Yeah,
Probably not like
scowling in that.
Pumbaa, but maybe Beyonce's daughter or something. I don't know. She's in that. What's Blue Ivy or something?
Yes.
Pop stars. We love them. They're just like us.
They make the world go round.
Who's gonna scowl? You know who's gonna scowl? President Ross and his big old pepperoni nipples.
Oh my god!
Did you guys see those pictures? Yeah,
I did see those.
He's got big old nipples.
Yeah,
which
listen,
who perfectly fine and normal. Like, yeah,
who doesn't love a man with nipples the size of dinner plates? Right?
Why is this that for some reason I've seen a million pictures of the Hulk and I never noticed it, but I see one picture of Red Hulk and I'm like, wow, those are. Is it because they're red and like human, nipple colored is closer than green that looks completely different? I don't know, but
I feel like that might be. Yeah, that's probably it. It just probably looks realer in a way that draws the eye.
Yeah, I'm in for it. It's gonna be pretty good.
Also, I mean, I think MCU Hulk does, but Hulk frequently is not drawn with nipples.
Yeah, that's true.
He's like a big chest man, right?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty sick. They got nipples on the Hulk finally. They got other stuff too. What else? We got some Sabra finally, or not Sabra. What's her name now? Ruth. Lots of Ruth. Very good. There was a trailer that they showed of that. Who Ruth was in it. Did you guys see the Skeleton Key trailer? That looked kind of interesting. New Star Wars show or movie or whatever.
No. Oh, they're still making these? Oh man.
Well, yeah, it depends.
Stop?
I think it's a movie. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it is though. It's it's like for kids instead of adults, which is their first mistake. Star Wars is for people our age and
That's
no
right.
younger.
If you ever do
older.
anything to make it appropriate for children now, then that means it's bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of like it's like Goonies but Star Wars. They're like a bunch of kids find a spaceship and then just go do shit and bump into a bunch of pirates or something.
Okay.
Whoa, Nando, I'm sorry, but I was looking up news and I can't believe you left out the most important piece of news that's come out of D23.
What's that?
Guys, they let us know that Zeb will appear in The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Zeb will appear in Mandalorian and Grogu. You guys remember Zeb? He was in Mandalorian season 3. You know it because on Twitter, Zeb was trending briefly. And you were like, who the fuck is Zeb? And then you clicked it and you're like, oh, it's this purple guy. Okay, cool.
Hey, we love Zeb. We're like, we're Zeb heads here on Mostly Nitpicking, right? That's
some people like
right.
Zeb.
Yeah.
I think if you go back and listen to our Mandalorian season 3 podcast, you'll hear us talking about how cool Zeb is. I think that podcast was 90% Zeb talk, if I'm remembering correctly.
I do think it's one of the first times because I was obviously like watching all this stuff happen on Twitter. Because some of it they put like the trailer for the show out or this movie out, but a lot of it they didn't. So you just have to kind of go with random videos of people tweeting stuff. And when the Mandalorian put out its thing, and it really is just some clips of random things, and then a little bit of like the Mandalorian in one of those chicken walkers, not an ATST, but the thing that's smaller than that. But that's the whole trailer because they don't have any of this made. It's coming out in like 3 years. But this is the first time I actually saw a tweet that was just a list of the things, but with exclamation points, and it read like the Red Letter Media joke version of this, where they were just naming things they saw and recognized. It's pretty awesome.
That's great.
I don't know why Star Wars specifically brings this out of people, or why it feels different than when like Marvel does it. But I think it's just because like even Red Hulk, you're like, that's a different guy than regular Hulk. But if they, I don't know. was there a Marvel trailer? Oh, yes, Agatha had its trailer.
Yeah, she had a whole musical number she came out to.
Yep. And they somehow dragged fucking Patti LuPone onto stage for this. How much money do you think? Well, I guess maybe it's in her contract, but like,
still, that's
my goodness.
That's rough.
Yeah, this feels like her tar. Did she tar somebody? And this is her cosmic punishment. Because you have to go to D23 and sing the Agatha Harkness song. Bunch of nerds. Because, yeah, this is weird.
At least D23 is better than a Monster Hunter convention. Like, it's at least better than that.
Well, in what way?
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right. You know, one is one that I care about, and one is for nerds.
That's right.
I'll figure out which one is which.
DJ's a huge Monster Hunter head. We all know this.
I loved Monster Hunter World.
Some people think Monster Hunter's good.
Much Monster Hunter World when it came out. There's one coming out this next year.
Yeah, that's why they're getting that soundtrack together. That's why Lydia's been so busy. Otherwise, we'd have seen her at one of her concerts or talks.
Well, no, they didn't hire her to compose the Monster Hunter music.
Oh.
She's just conducting at a live orchestra performance of existing Monster Hunter music.
Right, because the guy that made it is that Roblox oof guy who owns all the music for all the songs. I forgot what that guy's name was. Yeah.
Tommy Tallarico.
Yeah.
Monster
Hunter Wilds. I am legit excited for that game. So
they seem cool because
you wanted to extend the Outer Worlds, Outer Wilds confusion.
Yeah,
right. Is it Worlds or Wilds? Which Monster Hunter are we talking about here?
Yeah, that's a classic Rodney Dangerfield. If he were alive for that, he would love that bit. He would probably,
He would try and do it in like some college. It's like, so what's this? I got the Outer Worlds versus Outer Wilds. What am I solving a puzzle? Am I playing a Fallout knockoff? What's going on here? That was his signature line, right?
That was
what's going on
here? Yeah,
I don't think anybody could possibly improve on that Rodney Dangerfield impression.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm here all week.
The only problem is there are probably some Gen Zers that listen to this podcast. They're going to be like, oh, okay, I guess that's who that is. They'll never know. Because that used to be like when we were growing up, that was just one of those impressions that everybody knew. Because he was like a person that was somewhat relevant. Even like for us.
And he did that great movie, Rover Dangerfield.
Oh, I was going to say he did that Ladybugs movie that was like
there is that too.
Very relevant these days. But no, what was Rover Dangerfield? I don't remember that one.
It's a movie about a dog who used to live in the city but gets accidentally taken out to a farm.
Yeah.
But the dog is just Rodney Dangerfield's like stand-up guy, but a dog.
I remember
for no discernible reason.
He has the tie and like the
pulls it. Yeah, like it's just, that's so weird.
They made the dog look awful, but it does look like him. But if I'm Rodney Dangerfield, I'm like, I don't fucking look like that.
No, that's the thing. He gets no respect. So, I mean, that's the thing he would say if he wasn't busy saying that thing that you said he says, whatever that is, his classic catchphrase.
What's going on here?
That's it. That's the one.
Yeah. But yeah, this actor and this dog doesn't get any respect. You should maybe if you complained about it, things would be different.
The movie revolves around the eponymous character, a canine facsimile of Dangerfield, owned by a Las Vegas showgirl who gets dumped off the Hoover Dam and finds himself living on a farm.
That's not respectful.
Critical reception was unfavorable, although its animation received minor praise. So
yeah, it looks like it could be okay. I don't know.
Oh God, can we do this movie? It's only 74 minutes long. I would love to watch a 74-minute long movie. It's perfect length.
That's pretty
tight. 75, my favorite.
This is from the guy. Oh my God, this guy has a career. So the director of this movie only directed, or did it even direct this? On IMDb, it listed them as a director. But then when I looked it up, it doesn't appear. So, but anyway, this person worked on Beauty and the Beast, but not as director, as like a, animation guy. Rover Dangerfield. Pinocchio and the Emperor of the Night, whatever that is, which looks fun. The most recent thing,
another Pinocchio movie,
and the most recent thing, 2012's Food Fight! Exclamation point.
Yeah, so, that's another movie we should do one day.
Yeah, I'm surprised it doesn't come up yet, honestly. But I mean, we do have a lot of movies coming out. Obviously, besides D23 telling us about all of them, they just keep happening. This week, Borderlands is flopping like crazy, so we'll have to talk about that. It's pretty exciting.
Not the movie we're doing this week because of our wonky recording schedule and me getting, not saying the podcast about me, but my child got me sick, and, that just, it ruins everyone's day, including the host of this podcast.
If I've learned nothing from this movie, children ruin the cool shit you want to do, you know?
Honestly, though.
You want to do cool shit and the kids fuck it all up by being kids. We'll get to that. One other thing we have to talk about, The Greatest Showman is getting a stage musical, which we said we knew it was happening because it was at the West End or something, but they announced it at D23. You guys... are you excited?
I mean, I don't know what we're going to do because we're obviously going to go see this show together and then we're going to have to nitpick it, and it's going to be the least accessible nitpick of all time.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably going to be pretty bad, but also they could take a shot at fixing it, Yeah. Like they could add a character arc or something. That'd be nice.
I mean, they have to add songs, so maybe in those songs will be good.
Yeah.
Because there's not enough songs in the movie to carry a whole stage musical.
Right.
Yeah, it'll probably be. Who do you think is going to get a song now that didn't get one originally?
Any of the freaks.
Yeah, they'll get a song.
Like literally any of them who aren't Zendaya or the bearded lady.
The strong man. I remember the names of all the freaks. The strong man, the
human
cannonball.
Yeah.
I know them all.
Blockhead, I think, was one of them.
Mm-hmm. Maybe the wife will have something to do or say.
She had that would be interesting. In the movie that is so unmemorable that it probably slipped your mind immediately.
Yeah, I forgot about that. What was it? Where does it show up?
It's after he comes back and everything's falling apart, and she's like, no, it's after he leaves, and she's like, I'm going to sing a song about how I miss my husband.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, because it's a Greatest Showman song, it's actually so generic that it could be about anything.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe they should try to sneak a couple of Wish songs into it and see if anybody notices.
I was
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the one where oh God, what was the one where the one about his wife being not on his side or no one being on his side?
Oh, it's the Greatest Showman?
It's the one Chris Pine. No, oh wait.
Yeah.
It's the one Chris Pine sings.
Oh, the villain song in Wish.
Yeah, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry,
the one
Chris
that's
Pine's villain song.
No, thank you or thank you. What is it? This is the thanks I get. That was what that one was called.
That's thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. This is the thanks I get. Yep.
Yeah, it was one of the worst ones.
Yeah. Someone should put that in The Greatest Showman. Have a little renaissance.
Yeah.
Although I would say one of the least generic songs in that movie, though.
No, for sure. Yeah, I think that is one of the more memorable ones. I do think it for me represented all the problems with the movie because it's a bit where it just goes, evil for no reason. But I do think that would fit very well with what The Greatest Showman believes about himself and the world and stuff, Yeah,
like,
if he were to have like a character arc, that would be a realistic attitude for him to have at the nadir of it.
Mm-hmm. Or not in the very beginning, I guess. Because that's the problem is not only does he not have a character arc, he's never until the absolute end fully appreciated by everybody. So he could throw that song, after Jenny Lind leaves or in the beginning where he gets fired from his job because he tries so hard to bring everybody wonder and colanders that spin around with a big candle in them and they don't appreciate him. Do you think Hugh Jackman, he's not going to do it, right? He's not going to be in it?
No, there's no way. Because he wants to do and he wants to do real shit like The Music Man, right? Like if they did another Music Man, he'd be like, I'm back, mate. I'm back. I'm doing The Music Man yet again.
I think they could
Hugh
trick
Jackman.
Him, put a big Music Man sign up in front of the door, and then when he gets in, you close it, and then that falls off. Yeah, they set a trap for...
Yeah. They make him think it's a different musical, and now he is trapped.
Yeah. That is very... that is... And Hugh Jackman... That'd be really funny, though, if he wanted to do this musical, and he's just like, I'm not going to do Wolverine anymore. Like, you sure? We really want you to be in Secret Wars now. I'm doing fucking Greatest Showman until I die.
Wasn't Greatest Showman a passion project for him? So maybe he would want to do it.
It's possible. And I mean, he'd probably be good at it. He'd be as good as anybody can be in that role. A role that's bad, but he's a fun entertainer.
Right. He could be good as any other person who could just like be bad at something. Well, he wasn't bad. It was bad.
Yeah, it's not a good role, but he's fun.
He's really used to being a good actor in a bad movie. I mean, he was just in Deadpool and Wolverine.
No, don't you say it.
He's trolling and it's working. Don't let it work, right? Don't let him get you.
It's too late.
Diggins,
I already got you.
You don't even know. You haven't watched Borderlands yet. It can get so much worse. You'll think you didn't like any movie, but no, that's what Borderlands is.
I'm so excited for Borderlands. Like we've officially hit the point where the buzz is so bad that I circle back around to being pumped.
Oh, it's wild. I mean, I don't want to spoil it with any of my takes, but I have quite a few takes. So we'll get to those next week. But speaking of a movie that some people think is bad, some people think is good, we have to talk about this week's movie of the last week. It's Trap.
Yeah, Trap.
M. Night. Does he do one sentence or one word titles recently? Like, is that his thing? I guess not Knock at the Cabin, but like Old, The Visit. That's not one word.
Signs.
Like, yeah,
Sixth Sense.
Split. Glass,
Unbreakable, The Village, Signs, The Happening.
I feel like this can go like one of two ways.
Yeah, he's got maybe that's like a thing. Maybe that's the first step. You got to make a title with more words in it. And then maybe
Isn't that
that'll
the
fix these
modern
movies.
Disney thing? Because like it used to be like Snow White, The Beauty and the Beast, like the old fairy tale names, but now it's like Tangled, Frozen, Moana.
Oh yeah. That's true. And look where we got, they're doing live action Moana now. They didn't really talk about that too much, but The Rock was there because they're also doing Moana 2, and he's also in that.
And he's also in some kind of weird movie about monster trucks called
that could
Monster
be fun.
Jam.
I want to watch Monster Jam.
There
was one thing.
Like kids monster truck movie called like Monster Truck.
Maybe, I don't know.
That sounds real.
It's hard to tell with these nerds, man. And by nerds, I mean nerds at Disney, not the nerds, the fans. I love and respect all of you.
Monster truck movie. Yeah. Oh, no, it was Monster Trucks. So this was about the trucks were monsters. Like octopuses and shit or something.
Classic.
Yeah. Like this, it seems like this truck, based on the one picture, seems like kind of a Herbie situation where this isn't what Herbie is, but like the truck is powered by a monster under the hood that like drives it. So
okay,
it's kind of cool.
I'm not on board.
Yeah, we could do that one these days. They ever make this one with The Rock? I do want to say there was one movie that looked cool, or one show. It was a show, I think, called Win or Lose. Did either of you guys see anything about that?
No.
Isn't that the Olympics?
No, it's good instead of bad.
It is a way the Olympics can go.
That's true. And we did win, right? It's over pretty much.
That if something goes at the Olympics, you either win or lose.
Well, if you get bronze, did you win or lose?
Lose.
Mm-hmm.
Silver,
you
also
lost
lose.
If you got bronze?
Yeah, everybody but gold loses.
Second place
That's
is just first to lose, DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you, Ricky Bobby's dad? If you ain't first, you're last.
Exactly. They do tie sometimes in the Olympics, though.
It's that G.I. Joe guy again.
Yeah.
He brought back everyone's favorite character. Weird G.I. Joe man.
But Win or Lose is like, it's a Pixar show about a baseball game by kids, like a Little League baseball game. But it's one game, the whole show, and every episode is a different kid's day leading up to the game. It looks sick as hell. I think this might be pretty cool. But everything else looked boring. So everything else at D23 was, just like a lot of things at D23, if you didn't see, it was just the name of a movie or show we're pretty familiar with, plus a number, like Incredibles 3, Frozen 4. So
Lilo and Stitch live action.
4?
They did 3 and 4. I mean, maybe we'll see. They skipped a lot of stuff in that second movie, like stuff that was probably in there. So maybe they just went, fuck it, let's go straight to 4.
They skipped a lot of stuff, like the plot and anything making sense.
You could convince me that Frozen 3 came out. You could absolutely convince me that it's out. I could watch it on Disney Plus.
And according to the rules of Bad Boys, maybe they're just calling the third one Frozen 4 by accident. And then the fourth one's going to have to be called like Frozen freeze or die or something like that, you know?
Not
You're gonna
frozen,
be like,
freeze, or dies.
yeah,
That's horrible.
it's not good. Everybody's gonna freeze or die.
So that's when
Death for almost everyone
that's
too.
when Elsa fully embraces becoming a supervillain.
Yeah.
She hits her poison ivy stage of like, I just have to kill all the people to protect my beloved ice.
I could only stop global warming by freezing the earth.
We'll take it.
It's time to freeze or die.
Yes. Speaking of people that want to die or do kills, murders, we have to talk about the butcher, that guy, that crazy sicko murderer.
Have you heard about him?
I have heard about him. I mean, I haven't though, because I don't really pay up like attention to that. I think that guy would have to explain it to me for the first time. I'd be like, interesting. But like Hannah would know all the details about the butcher. Like, she'd be that woman on the radio telling me all the things about the butcher, how he is a criminal and he's done many murders and stuff.
Is she a big true crime person?
Like actually, I guess she wouldn't be good at butcher. She'd be good when the podcast or like the movie comes out afterwards. But I think in our day and age, because we are such sickos, they'd start making that butcher movie after like Kill 2. So if he's on Kill 12, the movie would be done. But maybe that's part of a trap too. Yeah, we love our murders. But yeah, let's talk about Trap. Came out this year, written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan. And starring
guy.
Josh Hartnett. Yeah, my favorite guy. A guy who I respect so much, and I wish one of these was good. And we'll get to it. Maybe this one is, but like
so badly, just wants one of them to be good.
Cannot say anything but nice things about him, except for when I talk about the movies. But yeah, the who's in charge of the IMDb for this one?
I think it's moi.
Oh man, this is gonna be tough.
So. Yeah, I believe you won the Deadpool and Wolverine one because your summary was just way better.
Yeah,
I like being way better. It makes you feel good. All right. So that being the case, yes, I get to run the IMDb Bees and Spelling Bee, a little game that we like to run every week where two of the co-hosts have to guess the IMDb summary for this movie. And you must be wondering, well, how do they come up with the IMDb summary at imdb.com? Well, it's actually very simple. Those consumer surveys you get sometimes where it's like, hey, come test out some refrigerators for us and we'll give you like $100 gift card or something like that. You guys are very familiar with these consumer surveys, right? Obviously.
You test the refrigerator? Yeah. Do you like open the doors and stuff? Or do you like bring your own food and then leave it in the refrigerator for a day and then come back and then go, this is pretty cold?
Well, refrigerators are so high tech now. I think you like test the functionality of the refrigerator, right?
Yeah, I was at somebody's house today and they have so many touch screens and shit. It's crazy.
Can you figure out how to open this fridge?
Yeah.
That's the challenge.
She should have used the fridge to send a text message or something. She probably could have. We'll get to it.
How spherical is the ice for like, the nice spherical ice that like,
yeah.
I love that stuff so much. I'm a huge stand for nice ice. Anyway, those aren't actually consumer surveys where you go test fancy refrigerators. They are traps where they get people to watch a movie on IMDb and then figure out a good summary for it. And if they like your summary, they release you. And if you fail, then you actually have to go do those consumer surveys where you test out refrigerators. So it's kind of like a 2-tiered system.
Do you still get the $100 gift card?
Yeah, they're not like complete liars, so you still get the gift card.
Okay.
But wait, it's a trap for anybody or for specific people?
I think I think it's like jury duty. I don't think they screen for like who is going to be part of the trap.
Okay. Yeah.
So
it's like the show Jury Duty. Is James Marsden there?
Oh, I wish he was part of it. He would be so good at was it thrusting? What
the thrusting? Yeah. Oh yeah, the soaking or whatever. Yeah.
You're soaking. That's
jumping around.
Sorry, are we soaking?
So good
wait, hold on. How did we get to soaking?
James Marsden is on that show Jury Duty.
Yeah.
Is it
something
that comes up in Jury Duty?
Is it docking?
No, it's right. It's what I said. It's
soaking is the one where somebody's moving the bed.
Yep. Okay. He's the mover of the bed in the show.
Yes. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. He helps because he's James Marsden. He's a cool guy.
It's pretty fun. I think I don't know if you'd love it, but like, because I feel like we've already spoiled the soaking part of it, but like, yeah, the Jury Duty show is pretty fun.
I don't know. Yeah, all right. I was gonna say, I think it's still watchable, but all right. So anyway, so this summary that was come up, this person most definitely had to stay and review some refrigerators.
Oh,
It's
no.
like,
Uh-oh.
it's short, but like it is certainly wrong.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I really thought I would be able to do this one because I was like, well, this movie's pretty simple. Like,
Well, I would say still take your best part. Like, don't like overthink it, but it is wrong. So maybe you have to overthink how wrong it is.
yeah. All right. Well, Diggins, you're going first because I have to. That information really changed my strategy.
Okay. So it's wrong and it's short. The police stage a concert to trap a notorious serial killer.
Okay. I was going to say a serial killer needs to use his wits to escape a concert that has been staged by the police and turned into a trap to get him. God, I don't know. I don't like it, but I don't even know what else you could say. What could be wrong? It's a football game. He's at a football game. Something else.
I mean, I said a wrong
D23.
thing. The police do not stage this concert.
You did say a wrong thing. Unfortunately, you were both way too off, and it's not your fault. It's
We were too correct.
Yeah. Honestly, I almost just want to like read the like what the summary is, and then we'll go to the tiebreaker. Just because I just really kind of want to marinate in this. I mean,
if the tiebreaker is not related to it, then you might as well.
Yeah.
All right. So, a father and his teen daughter attend a pop concert only to realize they've entered the center of a dark and sinister event.
Wow, that's not true at all.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's crazy.
It's a weird one.
Right? There's nothing dark and sinister about the event.
No.
I mean, it's a pop concert.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
That's pretty sinister. So, you saw the prices on those t-shirts?
Oh, my God.
And I mean, cops.
Yeah.
That's true.
And Philadelphia. I guess they are from Philly, though, or at least they're a drive away.
Even worse.
So. They might be from Jersey. Ooh. That would make sense. Yeah.
All right. Well, now I have to do some
oh yeah, and
trivia.
This would stink you can't do the game for this.
No, we can't do the game.
You can't think of any other movies that Salika Shyamalan has been in?
Yeah, I can't think of too many others now.
All right, so I have one as a starter. It's just gonna be a bunch of questions until someone gets someone right.
All right.
Okay. Haley Mills plays the profiler of this movie.
Oh my
right?
God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, she was also famously in another trap-related movie. Can either of you guess the movie and the role that she played?
Trap-related movie, but like not like an M. Night Shyamalan, like
no,
Split or something. Okay.
No.
Trap-related movie.
But when I say trap-related, like, take that as broadly as, like...
Yeah, like it's an Easter egg
right?
that she's in both of them, and like, yeah.
Yeah.
Not an Easter egg, but yeah. Well, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I'll let Diggins go first.
It's The Parent Trap. I knew this.
Oh. Is she the Lindsay Lohan in the original one?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Well,
on to another question.
Yeah, we gotta try another question because I knew that too.
Cheated by knowing the answer.
I did actually see this thing before, but I couldn't remember what the answer was. So good.
It's fine. I'm gonna try to be quick and painful for all of this, is to not languish in it, so we can get to the fun part where we talk about trap. Okay.
You could give us just like Shyamalan trivia or something if you want to. Like,
oh God, not Shyamalan trivia.
Yeah, I don't know.
What am I to do with that? No, it's fine. Okay. The code word that the employees use, like for like whatever, Hamilton, right? There's like a code word Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that the code word?
is the reason given in universe, or is this just a thing that he said?
Yeah.
Like M. Night Shyamalan said later.
It's like an East. It's. I mean, I don't know if he said this, but like it would stand to reason. Like this is another one of those like fun little Easter egg things.
Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you know Diggins?
I don't know. I'm gonna guess there's like a street or something in Philadelphia named that.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Nando.
I like that guess. I'm gonna say what's the? I don't think it's gonna be because of the musical or the president. I think it's gonna be something else. What about like Linda Hamilton? Is it named after her or something?
No, it's so that arena that was filmed. The interior shots are not in Philadelphia. It's a stadium, First Ontario Centre in Hamilton, Ontario.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, Nando, you think you would recognize if that was your old hometown's famous arena or not?
I know. And I didn't recognize. Honestly, there were parts of it that some of these look similar, but there were parts of it that looked like other stadiums I've been to, and I was like, did they film it there instead? But because he is so loyal to Philadelphia, maybe we're just tired of his shit, you know?
Well, maybe there was no interior stadium he could do.
Yeah.
Okay. 10 minutes, like early in the movie when there's like the SWAT cars like approaching to the stadium on the road, there's a billboard in the background advertising a movie. What movie is that billboard advertising?
Is this a real
Hamilton.
movie?
Yes.
I don't know. Is it somehow related?
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay. Diggs, you go first.
Old.
Nando?
Taylor Swift concert movie.
I'm gonna give you each another couple cracks at because I don't have much more. This is probably a good question to at least give me a couple tries.
Were either of our guesses close?
Yes.
Oh.
And you said it's a real movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the Lady Raven concert movie.
Yeah, no, it's not that. It's not that. No. It is a real movie.
What other concert movies did exist? Or maybe I was close and it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. It's a billboard for The Sixth Sense.
No.
Is it a billboard for that movie his daughter made that we also don't like? I already forgot what it was called. The Watchers?
Nando is correct. It was a billboard.
Oh my god!
Damn.
I already forgot that was called The Watchers. Was that a coincidence because it was coming out the same time they were filming it? Or
no, he must have done that on purpose, right?
Yeah, I guess he probably didn't film it like a couple months ago. So, yeah.
Actually, this is another fun fact. This wasn't like good trivia, but this wasn't affected by the SAG-AFTRA strike because M. Night Shyamalan independently finances his own movies.
Yeah, that's true.
So this wasn't like one of those strike-delayed movies.
Yeah.
Because this was always going to come out.
Now, is that because he doesn't use union labor or because he, as an independent producer, had already come to an agreement?
I don't know which.
Yeah, I think it's that one because like I know A24 was also able to film some of their movies because they just had agreements with their actors with SAG that like didn't violate the strike rules, but like, you know, Disney and all the people that are in the big studios wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well,
plus,
congratulations.
I assume the strike rules were very like, what's this fucking, is the daughter going to strike? Like who's, you know,
right.
Like that'd be a crazy strike, striking out against your dad who
fuck you, dad,
wrote the movie for you to be a pop star in. But hey, you know, rebellious teens and stuff. You never know.
Well, congratulations to Nando, finally ending that horrible drought, knowing that M. Night Shyamalan would lovingly put a billboard for his daughter's movie in one of his own movies.
Like a man crawling through the desert on his hands and knees.
Yep.
Nando has finally pulled his wreck of a body up to an oasis.
I'm so happy, and I'm glad M. Night is involved and the daughter. What's his daughter's name? Not this one, not the one from this one, but the other one.
The
Is it Ashana, or is that for
Yes.
Shauna, yeah.
Okay.
Shauna, not
Yes.
Shyamalan.
Yeah.
I'm glad the whole Shyamalan family is involved.
And she was not involved in this movie, right?
No,
I don't
she's
think
probably
so.
busy doing her other movie, the one that is The Watchers.
Mhm.
You know?
Right.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, that does mean that Nando
thank
gets to tell us his thoughts of the movie, and he doesn't have to summarize the movie.
Yeah. I watched this movie like a week ago, so it's been a while. And again, I've seen Borderlands since then, so that has kind of changed my thoughts, but it hasn't really changed my thoughts on it. But I guess it kind of made me appreciate this. I think this movie, like most M. Night Shyamalan movies, except for, I don't know, like the Airbender one, is a pretty well shot movie. And like, it looks cool. It's pretty inventive. I think he came up with the idea by himself. I don't know if there was like this definitely didn't happen, but like, I don't know if his daughter was like, what if a movie was a trap concert thing, or, how that came to be.
According to IMDb, and again, this wouldn't have been a trivia question, but apparently his pitch and concept was, what if The Silence of the Lambs happened at a Taylor Swift concert?
That's
Love it.
not remotely what this movie is.
Well,
but what if,
but what if?
What if? So that part of it I think was cool. But like all M. Night Shyamalan movies recently, at least in the last like decade, I didn't really like it because all the dialogue was weird and bad. I think it's so crushing to me. It's so disappointing that like this movie isn't great. Cause it could be great. But he needs some sort of co-writer or something to tell him that that's not how people speak. Because otherwise this movie feels like a video game, tutorial level where you're walking through it and everyone's walking up to you going, "Hey, I'm John. I run the weapons depot. Here's what I can do to help you." And it's just like, it doesn't, that really undercuts all the fun tension. I think here's my thing about this movie. I like this movie. I know there's people that like, or I didn't like, well, I enjoyed parts of this movie. There's people who like really like it. And, I prefer it when these movies are good, like the M. Night Shyamalan movies. Like, I think Signs more or less is good. And it's like Sixth Sense, Unbreakable until the end when it just ends out of nowhere. But like, we're in this new generation of M. Night Shyamalan movies with Glass, Old, and this, where like people get really excited about it. Like, M. Night Shyamalan, amazing. But at the same time, like, I don't think M. Night Shyamalan films the scene and like makes it really scary and whatever, and then goes, and this is the part where everybody's gonna burst out laughing because it's so fucking weird. Like, but that's what ends up happening. So I don't know what the deal is with M. Night Shyamalan, but I don't, that dissonance is the part of this that I can't bridge those two. So yeah, I don't know. It's okay. I think Josh Hartnett's, I know people praising it. I think Josh Hartnett's pretty good. I think everybody else, this movie's weird. But yeah, I think there's parts of it that are cool. It's not I didn't hate it more than another movie we'll talk about eventually. There's worse movies you could watch out there.
Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Oh, we are going to have to do that one too. That one's getting a lot of attention.
No.
I don't know why, but I mean, they'll both be on VOD in like the next 24 hours probably. So, I'm not worried about.
We have to see Borderlands at a theater.
I see. If I were them, if I were Kevin Hart and I had all the money he has, I would start pulling it. I would Sound of Freedom that movie, just buy all the tickets so no one could go. Not to fully tip my hand, but I do like him in it. I think he's good in it. So if anything, I'd be like, you should go see it, but maybe Cate Blanchett should do this. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, Trap's okay. The movie is cool. Everything about it makes no sense. And the dialogue is really weird. So I didn't really like those things. Diggins, what did you think of Trap?
I agree that this movie's not very good, but I did have an amazing time. Because everyone is an insane person who doesn't act like a human being.
Yeah.
And the camera work is, I don't know if I could say if it's good or bad. It's so interesting. The way he's like constantly pushing directly in on Josh Hartnett's face, like head on, and everyone else when they're talking, like the shot reverse shots are dead on into the person's eyes, like in almost every conversation. It's so bizarre.
They look like they could be AI generated. Like, they don't, but like it's that kind of framing.
Oh man.
Yeah, and the plot really, like, it's simple. Like, the first half of the movie, the plot is simple and like it's dumb, but it's very A to B to C in a way that I think works for it. And then it never goes off the rails, but it gets so needlessly, like, again, complex isn't the right word. It just keeps adding more and more to what's happening in a way that I think is not good for the movie, but at the same time is stupid, and I kind of love it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like, I agree with you that the movie's not very good. The dialogue is, I mean, it's M. Night Shyamalan dialogue. Nobody comes to him for realistic dialogue anymore.
It's crazy.
But I do love Josh Hartnett's performance because he's so weird. Like, that's clearly what he's going for and like what is supposed to be happening. So it's not like him like failing to convey an authentic person. He's supposed to be this like weird, like, not all there fake man that nobody reacts to appropriately.
Yeah. That's the trouble is everybody else in the M. Night Shyamalan movie sounds like that. So it's like they're all also serial killers is what I'm supposed to read.
I guess so.
Yeah, it's Philly, man. It's fucking crazy.
It's Philly. It's a freaking problem.
Full of weirdos and sickos or whatever it is that guy says.
So yeah, no, I don't think it's a good movie, but if you're interested, I think it is fun to watch. What about you, DJ?
Yeah, I'm very much where you are, Diggins. I had a good time early, and then I think it had the problem where, like, there's a pivotal point in the movie which we'll talk about. Want to avoid spoilers, but we're like, I think the movie very much changes, and then I don't know if it's the problem is like the movie doesn't know where to go because it makes a pretty big decision, and I think after that point it's like a problem, and like that's where it lost me. I didn't stop enjoying it, but I definitely enjoyed it less. The intrigue of like the where the fuck is this going happens the entire movie, and that is something. There is very much a like, so wait, now what the fuck are we gonna do? And like that very much is real, and I just think make the movie enjoyable. But like there is 100% missed potential in this movie. You know,
yeah.
I think it could have been something greater than it was. Like I was surprised by some of the things that happened, but like just because it's like, well, wait, why would that ever happen, right? And not in the way of like the t-shirt salesman for the trailer being like, you're never gonna guess the fuck's going on. This whole concert's trap.
That's the name
more or
of the
less
movie.
oh my god, me and Michelle just kept whispering that back to each other.
Yeah,
Trap.
That's the movie. Although I don't remember if you talked about this. I'd be so upset if I was a fan of trap music and they made this movie, you know, because you'd be like, a trap concert movie, cool, but she's finally Taylor Swift. Yeah, make it a trap musician, obviously.
I mean, you'd have to gently take them by the hand and be like, unless it's a period piece, nobody has been to a trap concert in 10 years.
Yeah,
it's true. Rip Migos. But yeah, I enjoyed it, but there is unfortunately missed potential here in some of the execution. But you know, it is what it is, right? Po buddies nerfed, you know, as they say.
Missed potential with executions is a very, very similar theme happens in the movie, you know? Somebody can execute people right.
But yes, I think that now leaves us to Diggins having the lovely task of summarizing this beautiful movie.
And I think I saw this movie first out of all of us, so it's been the longest since I've seen it.
Yes, so you did, screwed. Yeah.
Which means that when I do this summary perfectly, those two will have nothing to fall back on for why I usually do better.
So you want credit? Is that what I'm hearing?
He's putting it out there so that if things don't work out, it's gonna look real silly. So DJ, get your buzzer ready.
I'm Babe Ruth pointing at the stands.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do amazing.
All right.
So, we open with a father and a daughter driving to go to the new Lady Raven concert.
Oh, Lady Raven's got a concert?
We love Lady Raven.
Get out.
There was they opened up a new afternoon show because her original show sold out super fast, and he would manage to snag some really good ground level tickets. Because it's a stadium, so ground level is right in front of the stage. And she's all pumped about it. In fact, they get to see Lady Raven briefly as she goes from her tour bus into the stadium. She's all happy about that. But yeah, they go into the theater. She's been having some trouble with her friends, which never gets specified exactly what happened.
I was waiting for that.
Oh my God. Yeah, we'll get to that. Her friends. Well, I mean, you talked about them. It's insane.
So he's trying to help out with that a little bit, but the concert's really cheering her up. She's a huge Lady Raven fan. He goes to the bathroom briefly, and while he's in the bathroom, he pulls out his phone and looks at a live video feed of a guy chained up in a basement somewhere. Weird. Anyway, he notices that there's a lot of cops around.
That guy's trapped.
Mm-hmm.
Is he what the movie's about?
Trapped. That's right. He knows that.
Also, listen to it with the volume on. Crazy choice, but
yeah. It's fucking these days, man. Get headphones. Nobody has headphones anymore, apparently. Everybody just walks around with their phones.
Because they took away our headphone jacks.
Apparently.
Anyway, if somebody hears the moans and cries for help, they'll just think someone's having a really bad time in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's true.
Who among us
is anybody out there?
Who among us hasn't sometimes moaned and cried for help in a public bathroom?
Where am I? How do I get out of here?
Yeah.
Help, somebody help me.
All things I've said on the toilet. But yeah, he notices there's a lot of cops around. So then later, when he's going to bring his daughter to buy a t-shirt, he lets another girl get the last shirt in her size. And so the clerk or salesman or whatever you want to call him is so impressed by this act of generosity that he decides he's best friends with Josh Hartnett now and tells him that the reason there's so many cops around is because this whole thing is a trap to catch that psycho named the Butcher. Whoa, he's a serial killer who's been chopping up dudes all over Philadelphia. And Josh
Wouldn't you love to meet him?
Yeah, Josh Hartnett is all like, uh-oh. So he's looking around and he notices cops are taking adult men away, like him. Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
He's one of those adult men. No.
Yeah,
he's an adult man,
he's got to try to figure things out. He hears, chatter, but, okay, so he goes back to buy the t-shirt after they go back and forth from their seats a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
Because he tries to leave, he pushes a lady down the stairs to cause a distraction and tries to leave, but the cops are lined up at all the exits, so he can't do that without being spotted. So instead he goes to get the t-shirt. Craig, I think is the name of the salesperson. He helps him go into the back and get the shirts. And while he's there, he steals Craig's employee ID. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Uses that to get into the break room where the cops are doing a presentation about how the Butcher is a bad guy and they gotta catch him.
Also, not 4 cops, 70 cops.
Yeah.
More cops than they've ever had anywhere ever.
I said a presentation for cops, not to for cops.
No, but I'm not saying you're saying it was for cops. I'm trying to emphasize that there are so many fucking cops in this presentation. Crazy amount of cops.
Every police officer in Philadelphia is on this plan.
It's crazy.
So he goes in there and like pushes through the cops. And I want to be clear about something here. He clipped the badge on. The badge that has Craig, who I didn't mention is a black man. It has Craig's picture on it. He hasn't changed his clothes at all. He's wearing like a brown leather jacket and like a sweater with geometric patterns on it.
Yeah.
Like he's clearly not dressed like an employee. And we see other employees, you know, they have like the black polo, the standard like work uniform kind of thing. Like it's very obvious that he's not an employee, but nobody questions it ever.
He just says, "I'm an employee," and they go, "I guess so."
Yep.
Not going to fight with him on that. He seems like an employee.
He wades through a sea of cops to get to a coffee maker.
Yep.
And then
and one cop asks, "Hey man, you work here. Where do you keep the sugar?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I work here, man." You know it.
Yep.
And then he's like, "Oh yeah, they took it away, but don't worry, I got my stash here." And he reaches down and pulls out some sugar. How did he know that?
Yeah, crazy lucky.
He's magic.
But anyway, he gets back out again. There's a little more back and forth between him going back to his daughter. His daughter thinks to be weird. He also runs into the mom of the friend that his daughter's having trouble with. Not actually important at all. I think M. Night Shyamalan just had an axe to grind about some other mom in like his PTA or something.
My God.
It really does feel like that.
Because she's just like annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But super annoying. Like super annoying.
Yeah, like horrible. And so annoying that even though you saw him take out the phone and look at the serial killer, like stuff that only a serial killer would have, you're like, is the twist that she's really the serial killer, though?
You really do think it.
There's no reason why we'd be paying so much attention to her if she wasn't the serial killer, right?
Just way too much focus.
Yeah.
Anyway, the concert started at this point, so there's lots of singing. The daughter's having an incredible time. But Josh Hartnett is still trying to escape, so he tries to go up to the roof. He manages to cause a distraction by turning up a fryer and overloading it with oil, so it explodes and like scars a woman's face for life.
And he like threw 2 giant bottles of oil in it. Just
yeah, like
pipe bombs.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And in that confusion, he takes an apron from behind he leaves his jacket behind, takes an apron, puts it on, and goes up to the roof. But there's like SWAT members on the roof. Fortunately, Craig told him the secret code, Hamilton, that lets them know that he's an employee.
Yep.
And they're like, "Hey, we told you not to come up here, and you're wearing a sweater and not work uniform. But you know the code, so I guess that's fine."
Yep. You know, he checks out. He's clean.
But that's how he finds out that there's an FBI profiler there.
Oh my God.
He also stole a walkie-talkie when he went to the break room with all the cops. So he's getting like a live feed of what the cops are saying to each other.
It's insane.
Yeah, in the video game that this movie is, these are the audio logs that you have to listen to when you're bored, you know? They're just like, it's there, you know?
So feeling more and more trapped, he goes back and he overhears on like the comm link or whatever you want to call it, that the only exit that's not being watched is the backstage exit. So at first, when another singer comes to join her, he like rises up from the middle of the stadium, and there's a big hole in the ground where he came in from, and he's like, "What if we just jumped in that hole?" But nothing comes of that because that's obviously stupid.
Yeah.
But his daughter mentions that during the song Dreamer Girl,
yeah,
Lady Raven picks a girl from the crowd to go up and sing and dance with her. So Josh Hartnett manages to find M. Night Shyamalan in the crowd.
Yeah.
And he's like, he must be important because he's the director of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out he's Lady Raven's uncle.
Oh.
And so he lies about his daughter having just beaten leukemia.
She's a warrior, that one.
Yeah. Yep. Even though she looks very healthy, and like I imagine after beating leukemia, you still look, pretty gaunt for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of all the chemo and stuff. But whatever, M. Night Shyamalan believes him. And so not long after, they get a tap on the shoulder, and M. Night Shyamalan's like, we want you to be our dreamer girl. So they get to go backstage. She's so excited. She gets to dance. He manages to avoid being seen by the cops by... Truly, I don't understand why this happens. A girl just walks up and like collapses in front of him.
Yeah, he uses his mind. This is like Now You See Me logic now. We have to just assume some of the characters are wizards.
Because like they're backstage and she's clearly like an audience member. So I don't even know why she was allowed back there, let alone why she's suddenly like really sick and collapsing or whatever the hell's going on.
These are all good questions.
Yeah.
But he takes her into like the medic tent or whatever you want to call it, to help her out. And they're all like, oh, what a good guy he is. Anyway, his daughter dances with Lady Raven. She's really happy. They get to go backstage after the concert to wait to say bye to Lady Raven. But while they're back there, he overhears how this was all planned. Lady Raven was in on the plan to catch him and everything.
Yep.
And everybody who exits is going to be searched, even people exiting through the backstage, except for whoever's in Lady Raven's limo.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously there's only one way forward from here. Say that your daughter who just got over leukemia would love to ride in the limo, right? Like, she seems like a nice person. She'd probably say yes to that. That would do it. Well, you're wrong, idiot.
Yeah.
Obviously, the best way to deal with this is to get Lady Raven alone and tell her, I'm the famous serial killer, the Butcher. Here's evidence that I'm telling the truth. Get a good look at my face so you can identify me later. And if you don't help me escape by letting me be in your limo, then I'm going to kill the person on this video because I have a button that puts carbon monoxide in the room. And she's like, oh no. So she does let them go in the limo and like takes them out of the concert. But then she's like, Riley, I want to go visit your house. And you're like, what? So she goes to the house, meets his family.
This is the part where it goes off the rails, by the way, where I'm like, no, I'm out. Like, what? Not totally out, but like, it's the turn.
This is definitely the turn. When they leave the concert, things get kind of strange. Anyway, so they go to the house. The family's all there. Everyone's excited except for Josh Hartnett because he knows that Lady Raven knows because he told her for no reason.
Yeah.
And she's like kind of hinting about it. She tells them that there was a plan to catch the Butcher at the concert and everything. And tells him the psych profile that the FBI lady gave them, which obviously matches him. And he's like, well, time for you to go. But she decides to sing a song and then try to take a selfie with Riley. But she steals Riley's phone and then steals the dad's phone and runs into the bathroom with the dad's phone and locks the door. And the dad's freaking out. Josh Hartnett's all freaking out because he knows that his phone has the Spencer on it, the guy he kidnapped. Anyway, Lady Raven contacts Spencer and is like, what do you know about what happened to you?
But by somehow unlocking his phone.
Yeah.
I don't think it was unlocked already.
I don't believe so. No, she sort of just figures it out. I don't know how. And then using the information that he remembers, she goes on Instagram Live and tells her followers, hey, does anybody know this, like where in Philadelphia all this stuff is? And eventually one of her fans is able to give an address, which she then sends to the police.
I don't even think she sends it to the police. I think she's like, hey, if you're around there, go get him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She says,
that is.
she's like, my child fans, tell your parents it's an emergency. Have them take you.
And they start responding like, my uncle's going to go check right now on the little live feed.
It's
like, all right,
also,
I guess they're
hey,
going.
you're hot.
Yeah. Yeah. Porn in bio or whatever.
She also calls her driver and is like, get the police to come here.
Yeah, it doesn't give a ton of information, but would be helpful, I think, if she gave maybe one or two more sentences. But hey,
she does eventually yell through the bathroom door that Josh Hartnett is the butcher, and then everything goes quiet, and then he's back, and like when she opens the door, no one else is there but him, and he like grabs her and forces her to come with him into the car, his car, and he's like, "We're gonna drive away." And then she starts talking as though she were his mom.
Yep.
To like, I don't know, throw him off balance or something.
Yeah,
and
because she knows serial killers and moms have like a whole thing, you know?
And it turns out she's 100% right. This guy does have a thing with his mom. But when he opens up the garage door, the family's standing in front of the car, and he's all like, "What are you doing there?" But they won't move, and then Lady Raven gets out of the car, and the cops are showing up, and he's like, "Uh-oh." So he closed the garage door. The cops are surrounding the house. They get the family out of there.
I forgot about this part.
And Lady Raven starts to leave in her limo, but when the cops breach the house, nobody's there. There's just a secret tunnel they find that leads out to the neighbor's yard. Uh-oh, we find out that he did something to the real driver that nobody noticed, and put on his uniform, and he's driving the limo, and he's like, "I'm gonna kidnap you, Lady Raven." So they drive around for a bit, and then he has to stop at a stoplight or something, and they get surrounded by fans who figure out that it's Lady Raven's limo, and she is able to roll down the window, even though he handcuffed her in the back seat.
Right. She like breaks the beam that it's connected to or something, right? I think she like
shenanigans.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I imagine the beams in limos aren't like super, the ones for, you know, that you would handcuff a person to aren't that good. You could probably rip one off, especially if you're a strong, you know, like, you know, musician. They work them so hard. They probably got sick arm ripping powers.
But anyway, so fans are mobbing the limo. She rolls down the window and is like, "It's me, Lady Raven." And then the cops pull up because they were following them, obviously. And the cops are like, "Everybody get away from the limo," which they do. And then they go in to arrest him, but the limo's empty. You see, he had a swag from the concert, so he put on a sweatshirt and put up the hood to cover his face. Now you might be asking yourselves, how did he get out of the car, though? The answer is shut up.
Secret tunnel too. He has a secret tunnel from the car to the neighbor's house.
He used the Lady Raven commemorative shovel to dig through the asphalt.
No, he did that stupid Winter Soldier Sam Jackson.
Oh yeah, he has a little lightsaber.
Cut through.
That'd be pretty cool. The Punisher helped him or something, according to fan theories. But so that has to be the end of this, right?
No, Nando,
no way.
Quite.
There's more. What? No.
So Lady Raven is safe now, and she leaves the movie. But the mom comes back to the house and is like, "Oh, this was all messed up, and I feel bad. Oh, my poor kids. They're with family right now." But then, while she's doing stuff around the house, Josh Hartnett shows up. He managed to slip past the police somehow.
Third tunnel.
Tunnels all the way down.
Tunnel literally. Right next to the other tunnel or something.
And he's like, "I figured out you're the ones who told the cops I would be at the Taylor Swift concert." Because she figured out that he was up to something and followed him one day and found one of the secret houses he uses to do his murders. And so she took the receipt for the Lady Raven concert, which he had.
Yeah,
he didn't buy the tickets online.
I was gonna say,
got them from the store.
But she took the receipt, tore it in half, and left it there so that they would have and then she called in an anonymous tip that it was a murder house. And that's how they found out he would be there. So he's all mad, and he's like, I'm going to do a murder-suicide now. Also, I'm upset because I thought our family was fake, but actually when I was going to lose it, it made me upset. And it turns out I did love you guys, kind of. And that's weird for me.
What a good guy.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this.
And you're like, all right. But she's like, let's eat the pie I made to celebrate our daughter before you kill me. And he's like, all right. But she laced it with drugs.
Yeah.
Drugs that he uses to do his crimes.
Right, because wait, did we explain how he does his crimes yet, or what his whole deal is?
We see a video of him doing his crime, which is incredible. Because it's literally, he like pulls up in a van, and then like the Onceler in the Lorax, a single arm comes out and like beckons to a man who just wanders over, and then that one single arm like grabs his shirt and drags the man into the van. It's like out of a cartoon.
It really is. And yeah, he uses his secret fireman powers to know where to leave guys or something.
Yeah, because he knows a bunch like abandoned houses because they don't meet fire codes, so people aren't allowed to live in them. So that's where he gets all the houses he does his murders.
Insane.
It's a great way to do it, you know.
Anyway, he's all filled up with drugs, but that's not enough to put him down. He's too powerful. So he gets up and he's gonna kill her, but then the Josephine, I think is the name of the FBI profiler lady, is there, also pretending to be his mommy. And
is she pretending?
Considering that his wife doesn't seem to recognize or acknowledge her. Yes.
Yeah.
I will talk about it, but we'll talk about it.
So he runs to attack the FBI lady, but there were guys with tasers waiting to shoot him with their tasers. But he's still too powerful. He's been shot by 2 tasers. He's still up. He's like smushes a guy's head with his bare hands.
Yeah.
Because now he's split. But then the third taser brings him down, and they're like, "We've arrested you, Butcher." So he's being brought away in handcuffs. But they let him hug his daughter one last time, and then he picks up a bike and puts it back on the kickstand so that it's not just.
Because he has OCD and he has to like make everything perfect.
And because of symbolism, you know, trying to fix his family.
That's right. But then it turns out he also did it because he took a piece of the bike wheel and he uses that to pick his handcuffs. And we get one last weird close-up on his face as he's kind of laughing, and that's the end of the movie. And then there's a post-credits scene where Craig finds out that he was the butcher, and he freaks out.
That's so funny.
That was the best scene. That was so good.
Apparently that was added after the fact. Or not after the fact, but apparently this was, because I did watch a couple interviews, M. Night really like writes these things, and which makes sense, because there's no way that dialogue, anybody comes up with that on set. But like he doesn't add extra stuff. But with that, I think one of his daughters, who knows which one of the two that is, you know, around, was like, it'd be funny if you guys did this. And then he was like, all right. And he put it in. So yeah, that was not originally part of the movie. It's the most interesting thing that happens in it, though, is that guy's journey. You know? Yeah,
right. From t-shirt salesman to
the guy that facilitated Hannibal in fucking Silence of the Lambs. He's going to have to explain. He's going to get so fucking fired. He is unfortunately in for him, so much trouble.
He's ruined.
I'm sorry, you told him the password? Did he even ask? No, you just wanted to seem cool in front of your new friend, some guy. The fuck is wrong with you?
Some guy
Jennifer's burnt forever.
Some guy who matched the general description we gave for the serial killer we were trying to catch. You told him about all our serial killer catching methods.
To be fair, the serial killer profile was man who is white or black or Hispanic and somewhere between 5 foot tall and 8 feet tall. And, you know, they just wanted any man, which they were arresting some guys at this concert, and you were like, why them? You know? Did they see that guy and go, "That's a guy, get him"?
Because it's
Get
that
misandry,
guy.
Nando. It's
Yeah.
the only thing you can still discriminate against in this society is men.
That's right. Way to go, M. Night. Saying the real hard truths nobody wants to say. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but
What about all those wacky run-ins with that mom who we thought might be the bad guy?
that mom, man, she keeps pulling up. We see her later at the concert from afar,
Yep.
being
When
upset about
the
her
daughter
kids.
freaks out.
When
Yeah.
Riley is picked to be Dreamer Girl, her daughter is all mad about it for some reason, and it's like yelling
It
at her
should've been
mom,
her.
like her mom had the power to make her be Dreamer Girl.
But then that's the other character who I do think has the most interesting arc in the story. Just like this mom going home on the news, being like, wait, he's the butcher? I kept wanting to fix his relationship with my daughter. And, you know, she feels vindicated now. She's like, see, if you'd gone up a Dreamer Girl, you would have got butchered. Probably so. Now you feel like a real asshole, don't you, my daughter?
I did get a strong sense from her that she also wanted to fuck Josh Hartnett, which made
I
sense
did
to me
too.
at first because I
Little
thought
bit,
he was a
little bit.
single dad. But then we get to his
Mhm.
house and he has a wife, and I'm like, oh, all right.
Yeah. I mean, you know, shoot your shot. If you think you got it.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
I mean, yeah, not that she
absolutely,
couldn't
absolutely.
have still wanted to fuck him. I'm just saying, I was getting strong single dad vibes from him until the moment his wife showed up.
Yeah. And if it wasn't for her, this all would have been different, you know?
Yep.
He would have been still butchering to this very day.
That's right.
Be fucking teleporting through walls and murdering people and all the other magical bullshit he was able to do.
With all his superpowers, it'd be so hard to catch him in normal circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can only think of one person that could do it, and it's the Overseer, who used to work security at a sports venue. Where has he been this whole time, you know? This
Well,
would have
he
been-
died in that insane asylum
Oh, that's true. He did
because
die.
of the Clover Gang.
That fucking Clover Society. Where have they been this whole time? They should be protecting us from this guy. But
He's the real menace.
now all the serial killers can go to concerts and they won't get overseered. You know, this is the problem in Philadelphia now.
That's right.
That's the problem.
It used to be that you'd be like, well, at least they can't go to concerts. Otherwise he'd find them with his magic touch powers or whatever, and be able to like see into their hearts. But yeah, now he's dead. It's a bummer. Oh, you guys, you know what has wheels? Cars. There's a lot of cars in this movie.
That's
3,
true.
probably.
There's a fair amount of cars. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess 2. Well, no, 3. There's the limousine and the car in the driveway that he tries to drive, and then the other car that he tries to drive that was dark, just like they thought, because he's a serial killer. So we do get 3 cars, which means there's like 15 wheels or something if you count the steering wheel. So we got a lot of wheel to talk about here. You guys want to hit this wheel?
Let's hit this
I
wheel.
want
Yeah.
nothing more.
And you guys, I spun it and landed on one of mine. What are we picking up guys for? So this is a question I asked just a second ago, which it's, you know, in real time was just a second ago, but it's a question that this was the first big question I had during this movie. Men at this concert are getting arrested, but not all of them. It's not like at one point they just pull every man out of this concert.
Right.
What is the criteria they're using to get this guy?
They tell us at one point, maybe, right?
The description
I think
is
they
so
do.
broad, though. It could apply to pretty much any man.
Well,
So, like-
we are at a Lady Raven concert. How many men do you think are there?
I believe we're told there are 3,000 men at the concert, according to the profiler at one point.
Well, you see, Nando, it's very simple. They just go one by one. Every adult man who's there, you go up to them and they're like, "Sir, come with us." And they take them to like the police room or whatever, and they're like, "Are you the butcher?"
Yeah.
And then they say no, and they're like, "All right, well,
Ah, damn it.
moving on to the next one then."
Missed
Right.
out.
And then that was my second question: is what is the screening process like if they're just picking up random guys? Because like they don't seem to know anything about the butcher besides everything. They know the profiler has all of his motives and stuff, but they don't have any description or anything like that. Would they just be like, "Here, let's open up your phone and look for the stalking app you use to carbon monoxide poison people," or what? Like, what do you think?
Well, And that's the other thing too. So like they're profiling the men, right? And then later it escalates to everyone is checked before they leave, but like checked for what, right? Like to your point,
yeah.
Butcher paraphernalia,
butcher
notes.
Like in the hit TV show Riverdale, there's a serial killer gene.
Yeah.
And so they're giving everybody a DNA test before they're allowed to leave. And the person who has the serial killer gene gets arrested.
Yeah.
Also, the tip was that the butcher would be at the concert because the wife found the receipt and she thought he might be the butcher, right?
No. The tip was, I think I saw a murder man in this building. They go to the building, they find the receipt.
Right.
Which she did leave there so that this would be found. So like,
yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So right. It's not a one-to-one routing.
I think if she had called them and been like, I think the butcher's going to be at this concert, they go, well, seems like you know who it is then. Who is it?
Yeah, tell us.
So, you know.
So anyway, my point of my point of saying that is like I guess they didn't have more to go off of, but they should have.
Yeah. I mean,
more to go off of.
We'll get to it, but that I think being the twist that the wife knows what's going on, or at least has an idea of what's going on and set this up, is like these murders are on her hands now, considering how many anybody that got killed after she figured it out and decided to see if this concert thing would do it. Yeah. Because it's such a crazy leap of judgment to make.
Yeah.
Unless this takes place in a world where this happens all the time. You know?
Could be.
Yeah.
I do think part of it is that this does exist in a world where behavioral profiling isn't bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so this FBI lady could like talk to one of these men and figure out that it's the butcher based on like personality stuff or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think might be the idea here.
I think that's true. Well, she would know this classic secret of the butcher, which is he talks to you and he seems normal, but then he turns around and makes a scowl, you know? And she would have a mirror or something so she could see him scowl and go, it's him. He's mad that I called him out on his butcherings.
Or she'd just talk to him for a while until he stared off into nothing. And she's like, he's looking at a hallucination of his mom. Get him.
Yeah, I also feel like it's got to be tough to arrest men at this concert because A, probably getting at least a couple pedophiles. So like they're fitting descriptions. But B,
no, Nando, 95% you're getting gay men.
Well, sure, you're getting that too, but then you're getting a lot of drunk guys, right? Like a lot of people that are just having a great time. Because I feel like a lot of people that are my, like people that are my friends who are not huge Taylor Swift fans still went to the Eras tour and like balled out because it's like an event. And this is kind of treated like that. So they'd be really hard to arrest for this. But I guess they have every cop in this city.
Yeah, so we're set. We have so many cops.
It feels like if he opened a closet, there would be at least one cop per closet. Even if a closet didn't go anywhere, there would just be a cop behind every door.
I feel like one of the other issues with like, how do you arrest every man? How do you check them? You need like, I know so little about law. I'm going to sound like an idiot, but let's go. You need like a warrant to do this, right?
Well, because presumably they did because they had time, right? So presumably they talked to the owners and were like, we want to set up this thing, Yeah, like
it depends. Warrant to do what? Like warrant to metal detector them to see if they have a machete, or warrant to like follow them to their car and open it and see if there's a guy in there? Because like I think they could get away with the first thing and not the second thing. I don't think either of those things would work, like to catch the trap man. So it doesn't matter. Like. Unless they're going to interrogate every single man that leaves this concert at the same time, I assume, because it's a concert, it's not a football game where people are trickling out. Like the concert ends and everybody rushes for the door. Unless they do that, then there's no way they're gonna like be able to actually ask any questions besides, "Is it you?" and then hope that he goes, "Yes." Oh wait,
you get tape. It's weird too because so the profiler, she like. So I have so much. So, okay. first off, it's weird to me that the serial killer, like, his immediate response to learning there's a trap is like fucking panic. Like, his immediate reaction is like, shit, fuck, trap, I've been gotten, no, I'm doomed. Honey, let's go jump into the floor opening. That might be cool, right? Yeah, that'd be cool. Let's just do that. Like, it's a weird, like, instant reaction for a cool, calm, collected serial killer to have. It's like, I'm so fucked. But then on top of that, I have like 18 different points. So then he like gets the earpiece so he can like hear what's going on. And the FBI person's like, now he has learned about the trap. First of all, how do you know? And he's going to panic somehow. He's going to set off a fire alarm and then we'll have him. He'll fall into our trap, which like he was literally about to pull a fire alarm, but then he does it when he hears this. There's so many weird things like that where like the character gives like an aside that's like helpful to Josh Hartnett. Like the t-shirt guy's like, there's no way to get out except backstage. I think there might be a way to get out backstage. Yeah. So that's part of it where like he's like listening in like real time to like the status updates. And then like at the very end, he's like listening and she's like, our target hasn't left the building yet. How do you know? He could be long gone. There's no way you know he hasn't left the building. But like, yet everything she says is 100% accurate from his POV. It's like, fuck, she's on to me.
I told you, DJ, it's because this movie takes place in a world where behavioral profiling is real and not a made-up dumb thing that doesn't work.
But it's behavioral profiling, but also she's like a fortune teller or like a soothsayer. Yeah. Like she very much knows exactly what's going on. She's like, I see him now. He's at the fire alarm. He's about to pull it.
DJ, when you're able to understand how the criminal mind works, then you can predict their every move.
That's true.
You've got all the building blocks right there. People are, just respond to their impulses, It's everyone's very predictable when you get right down to it.
That's true. Nothing is truer than those words you just said.
Yeah, I do feel like now you mention it, that line, by now he'll have figured out there's a trap set for him. It's like, yeah, because you put a cop every foot. Even though you really only need a couple in like strategic places. If you just put them in the exits, it'd be fine. And if you maybe didn't dress them all up like cops, that would also help. But like,
but you put them everywhere.
He barely knew. Yeah, if he couldn't ask this guy what was going on, he'd probably assume there was a terrorist here or something. Like, you would be like, is the president going to be at this? Why is this happening? You would never. Like, I mean, that's the thing is Josh Hartnett's response to this is like he freaks out instead of going, he can't be right about that. They can't have used this to set a trap for me. It's a concert.
No one would ever get away with this.
Yeah. Where would they find the time? Why wouldn't they just go to my house? Just they found a receipt, right? Usually those have some numbers on it that you can use to like figure out information. Not able to do any of that.
Like credit card.
Yeah. I was going to say, this was a purchase he made like for his family and it's a perfectly normal thing to buy. Yeah. I would think he would have bought it with something perfectly traceable because he's not trying to hide himself.
You kind of figure in a better version of this movie, the Lady Raven tickets are just something that somebody he killed had on. And he took, when he killed them, was like, oh, my daughter's going to love this. And then because that person kind of told people they were going to this, but we didn't know where they were. That was how people found out he was at this thing. Because then it really does feel like more of a thing of like a little bit of hubris, I guess, as opposed to this, where it's like, I would feel so cheated if I were him and I got caught at this because it's so stupid. Like, I'd be like, but no, I didn't even put it. Like, I didn't even leave the receipt there. My wife framed me for the crimes I did commit by this weird roundabout way that ended up getting me caught.
Yeah.
But then you'd think back and you'd be like, it's kind of my fault for printing the receipt of this digital purchase I made.
Yeah.
Like, in retrospect, why did I do that?
It's a very good question. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. The FBI profiler is crazy. That was
crazy like a fox.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Crazy.
Crazy like she's his mom?
I don't know.
Impossible.
She's his what?
She's like kind of British, right? I can't remember that.
How would she? In what universe would neither of them say or acknowledge anything if they're mother and child?
I think he does when he like kind of sees her during the takedown and like is like, oh shit, that's my mom when he sees her.
It's
in the doorway.
not though. There's no way. Nobody says anything to her, including the other members of his family.
That's true.
But
and
maybe maybe she's estranged or something. Maybe they never met his mom. Maybe they never met Nana. Sad, but it happened.
Also, then who's that woman he hallucinates sometime, if not his mom?
That's true. Yeah, it's a different person.
Why can't they be the same person?
Because they are different people.
I don't think they are the same person, though.
Well,
right?
No, like she's so much older now. Like, why can't
the woman he hallucinates is also old?
Yeah,
but this woman could be older.
It's been so long. I forget what the woman he hallucinates looks like, but I kind of imagine in my head like a Kathy Bates kind of figure.
Yeah.
And then this woman, well, yeah, sure. But then this woman is also around Kathy Bates' age, maybe 5 years. And she's like older and British, and not older, but like a British, Alfred Pennyworth type.
Generally aging doesn't completely change your entire bone structure.
Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe it does. Maybe she went to the beach, That could probably be part of this.
I read it as that the profiler was his mom. It just seemed like that was the read that the movie was trying to tell me.
I think if Lady Raven wasn't able to already do this trick and kind of pull it off, I'm just like, I guess anybody could have done. One of us.
Yeah.
The guy from the beginning, the guy who's like, they set a trap for him, to have also been like, hey, son, I'm your mommy. And he would have cried and like sucked his thumb. He's just dead.
Maybe that's what the police were going to do. They take the men in the backstage and they all just have someone go, I'm your mommy and I forgive you. And the 99% of people who are like, what? Will be like, all right, you're free to go, sir.
The problem is
they find the guy who starts freaking out and they're like, this is our serial killer.
Problem is that would get at least 50% of the men at this concert for something, They've got issues and,
They call the first guy. It's like, oh my god, man, we got him. Man, we also got him. We already have 4 marks.
They're all crying. Everybody we talk to is crying. Something's going on in the city.
Man, this either worked horribly or worked too well.
Yeah.
Is it a ring of butchers?
Well, that's the other thing. They have so many different descriptions at one point that I'm like, how do you guys know it's not a couple of people? And is that in my head? I was like, oh, the movie's setting us up for it's going to be 2 or 3 people or something like that, or it's going to be the whole family or whatever.
I was really waiting for the whole family's in on it twist that never came.
Me too.
100%. Yeah,
that's what I wanted. I also thought it was funny how there were some problems. I only have one example, but I feel like there were some problems that immediately solved themselves. So he would hear like, and he certainly has a tattoo on his right wrist. And then he picks up his snap band and just like throws it on there. Like, solve that one. They won't take this off.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if they're specifically looking for things on my wrists.
Yeah.
It's like, why is this in here?
I think I forget what that one was, but I think it was just like a tattoo of an animal or something.
Yeah.
And I don't think they said where, but like, again, that's a very broad description, miss. Like, we're going to have to narrow this down a little bit if we want to find him. Besides just, he's a man with a tattoo of an animal. Because I feel like that's like half of the tattoos that are ever done are some animal, like a dragon or your dog or whatever.
Your dog is huge. Yeah. That's way up there.
I want to spin the wheel again because I do want to talk about this. I have a couple names for this. This is also one of mine. To be fair, the wheel, it spins in its own ways, but a lot of my things are from the beginning of the movie, and a lot of you guys' things are from the end of the movie.
What sound does the wheel make?
It makes a tick 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 sound, and it's really satisfying. So I'll spin the wheel. Here we go. Tick 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 tick. Landed on one of mine. This is Josh Hartnett's black guy doing a white guy voice. So I posted about this on Twitter, but everybody knows this. Every like famous, all the like big black comedians, like your Eddie Murphys, your Dave Chappelle, your Richard Pryor's, all have that one voice that's like, hello, sir, it's me. I need to talk to the guy. He does that voice, but it's Josh Hartnett's like fake serial killer voice. The problem is the movie, everybody has that voice kind of, because no one talks like a person in this movie. And I think that's like my problem with M. Night Shyamalan movies, where one character is supposed to kind of sound weird because they are a serial killer, is because then everyone sounds like a serial killer in all of these movies. Like every single person this man talks to could also have been the serial killer. But yeah.
Well, in fairness to all those other people, they are capable of controlling the muscles in their face.
Yeah.
To some extent, at least. Which is something Josh Hartnett appears to have difficulty with in this movie.
Oh, or he went to the Homelander School of Uber Face Control.
Oh, yeah, just
he can
looking in a mirror.
Control his face.
Yeah. He is also a serial killer kind of guy. There is a type,
true.
you know, he also has mommy issues.
Oh my
Very
gosh.
good, M. Night. Very good.
Maybe it turns out this isn't in the M. Night Shyamalan universe, it's in the Boys universe.
Who could have thought?
Yeah, I mean, like, the Butcher would be a tough name to get away with in the Boys-averse, but no, whatever.
Well,
the Butchers team up, Butcher and Butcher.
Villain.
Yeah. I do think the Butcher's a horrible name for a serial killer just in general, right? Like, we can't name someone the Butcher. It would have to be like the Philadelphia Butcher or something. Because, like, there have been 80 butchers, I'm sure. Like,
Yeah,
I think
fair.
we hear that he chops people up. That's why he's been given the name the Butcher. And like throws the body parts away, I guess, or something. But like, wait a second. Hold on. I'm just remembering something. When, the wife left the ticket at the house, but when he talks to the guy at the concert, he gives him the t-shirt, he kind of tells a slightly different story about why the Butcher is going to get caught at this thing. Right? Then he's like, they saw him dumping a body or something.
Yes.
Did he make that up? They have a lot of information about this guy who they should all be able to immediately recognize.
They could have caught him somewhere that wasn't a concert. They could have caught him at, I don't know, a deli or something. There were other options.
Maybe they keep doing this. Maybe they keep kind of trying to trap him, and every single time he manages to weasel his way out of it with superior trap logic. That's why he's so good at it in this. That's why he's able to like do things that no normal man should, is because he's like, you know, Edge of Tomorrow. This everywhere he goes is a trap.
He figured out every iteration. Yeah.
Yeah. Or it turns out that it's like that one Matthew McConaughey movie where it turns out the whole thing is a video game.
Yep.
Ooh, solid.
This would, it felt like I said, it feels like a video game. There's audio logs. There's characters that just walk you around and explain you everything. I do think, I spun the wheel again, tick, 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 tick. Another one of mine, the fire alarm protocol might be the thing that really got the biggest reaction out of me. Do you remember what they say they're going to do if he pulls the fire alarm?
I don't.
Only women and children get to leave.
Oh, yeah, they do say that. Just like the Titanic.
Yeah, like, good luck, dude. If the fucking fire alarm is going off at this stadium... What do you think is going to happen? Sir, excuse me, we have to ask you questions about your mom. Oh, no. They're all pushing through. Like, did you guys see that video, that soccer game, maybe like 2 weeks ago? It was in like, I want to say like Chicago or something. It was part of the, I don't know what it's called, but the big tournament. It's not the World Cup, but it's kind of like that we host.
Oh, the Copa America?
Yes.
Oh, in Miami. Yeah, it was the Copa America finals in Miami.
So they
that was scary shit.
Yeah, so they like fucked up something. I don't know exactly what it was.
There was a serial killer named the Butcher loose.
It may have been, yeah.
Might as well have been. Yeah.
And whatever it was, like I think they didn't open it up at the right time for people to see something. So people at the front were just like pushing their way in. It turned into a huge thing. I've seen a lot of people be like, yeah, this is why like America, we're not ready for FIFA whenever that happens. Like, it's going to be bad.
Not. It's 2 years and we're screwed.
Yeah, we're going to die.
That's why like emergency exits and fire doors and so all that stuff has to open out so that you don't end up with people like pushing in and trapping and crushing each other.
Trap.
But these are people breaking into the stadium.
But yeah, like these are people in this situation that think the stadium is on fire. And then even if Lady Raven gets on the thing and goes, no, we're doing a trap. Everybody sit down. I don't even think people would believe her. I feel like you just need one or two people to freak out and then it's over. But
I agree.
I do feel like as a society, we have so deeply ingrained in our heads the idea that fire alarms are never real.
Also
Yeah,
true.
that's
also
true.
true.
Like if I hear a fire alarm, I'm not, oh shit, there's a fire. I'm like, I guess we got to go outside or something. Because it's just like in my mind, I'm like, it's just some kind of drill or something malfunctioned or something.
Yeah.
right.
It is wild that we've done that. This might be problematic.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's a good way to avoid getting, like, we will have the power to catch the butcher once he, makes his appearance. We won't all be fooled by his fire alarm ploy. Or the time he kind of seems to try to start a real fire. It doesn't start a fire, but like that grease explosion thing could have just started a fire. And then someone would have pulled the fire alarm, and then Miss Profiler would have got on the radio and told everybody to kill the people because it's not a real fire. But like, if he's capable of pulling the fire alarm, he's also capable of starting a fire, I assume. But I guess not.
I just can't believe that. I think the biggest, there's so many Swiss cheese moments of this, hundreds and thousands probably of SWAT team guys going after the butcher, and even after they leave the venue. But one of the biggest ones is just like, during the summary, he's just walking through the presentation, getting coffee, and not one guy's like, "Sir, can I see some identification?" Like, just lets him go through.
Yeah.
Just insane.
Or is even like, what the hell? Like, just wait.
Right?
Yeah.
He's pushing his way through a sea of cops.
Mm-hmm.
So many.
It is interesting that this movie is, it's kind of a movie about how even if you're a serial killer and they know you are a white man, or at least suspect you are, you can still use white privilege to kind of get through cop stuff. Like if you say, "Excuse me, sir," they'll let you through, even if they're looking for you. And
they will do everything in their power to take you alive.
yeah, that's true too. It's I don't think the movie's about that, but it's an interesting thing that the movie does kind of do. Because we're almost out of wheel stuff for the concert, I just want to ask, have you guys ever been to what's the biggest concert you guys have ever been to?
Probably.
You guys went to the Eras tour, right?
Yeah, obviously.
I know a lot of people who went.
I've never been to a stadium concert. So something at like a football stadium, right? The biggest venue would be like something like PNC Bank Arts Center, right?
Right, yeah.
Reference, but that's just like a music venue specifically, right? But I've never been to a so anyway, answer your question. Like, I'd probably like a Fall Out Boy concert at a venue of that size. So we're talking maybe like a few thousand people, not tens of thousands, right? Honestly, it's not a concert, but I've been to a WrestleMania. That's the biggest like thing I've ever been to, is a WrestleMania.
I can't remember. Did you come with us to it was like a Stevens thing. We went to see Jay-Z at the Izod Center or something.
No,
it was a while back. Okay. That feels like it's the same size as this, because this seems like it was going for taking place in the Wells Fargo Center, and it's like the same. I would say like a 20,000 person arena maybe, or something like that.
Yeah.
What about you, Diggins? You've ever gone to a big concert like this?
I think my answer is pretty much the same as DJ, except I can count on one hand the number of concerts I've been to in my life.
And they're all Fall Out Boy?
That's right.
Yeah. You're first in line for the Greatest Showman.
Because I kept getting tricked. I saw the name Fall Out Boy, and I was like, oh, the little Pit Boy from the video games is going to do a concert. And I get there, and they just be a real band. And I'm like, what? Oh, I've learned my lesson.
I'm so upset.
I forget it next time. They got me 4 times so far.
Yep. Don't worry. The next one, I think, actually, Fallout is getting quite popular, so maybe the next one will be.
Yeah, because a show that's not very good came out.
No. I mean, listen, wait till you see Borderlands, Diggins, and you will be...
It's gonna...
Hey, listen, just because something worse exists doesn't mean that the things that are not very good are better.
You can appreciate it, I think.
You can kind of... It makes you appreciate, it makes you go like, listen, everything could be bad instead of just one thing. But what was I going to say about the concert? Oh, one thing about this concert that I think is insane, considering I've been to a fair amount of pretty large concerts. The hallways are constantly flooded with people during the songs. Like,
that's insane.
It's wild because like this is true of sports things too, except for a sport, it's like kind of you do have to get up sometimes, and you don't know when the songs, like, it's not like songs, so you don't know when the scoring's going to happen. But like,
yeah, and most of the sport is boring.
Yeah, exactly. Most of it's just sitting around. But but yeah, for these concerts, almost every time he goes into a hallway, it is packed with extras. And
yeah, there's no way. That's so unrealistic.
Yeah. How much do you have to pay for that T-shirt? I couldn't remember this. Was it $20?
No, it was like,
I think it was like 25.
Oh,
that still sounds pretty
like
cheap.
50 or something.
Yeah,
right. Like in my head, I'm just like, I know what it costs.
Yeah, it was something. It might have been as high as 30.
Yeah. And we learned,
Diggins, you would not believe the prices of these T-shirts.
They really do.
It's obscene out there.
I would believe it. I know.
I mean, you've bought so many Fall Out Boy concerts by accident because before you even see the band, you buy the T-shirt. You're like, yeah, sweet. This is going to sell out.
They got to fix this inflation. That's all I'm saying.
It's a simple little principle called a captive market, DJ.
Yeah.
You can't buy things from anyone besides you, so you can jack those prices up as much as you want.
Mm-hmm. And it's also a little principle called daughters and dads who want to make the daughter love them, you know? It's weird because this dad, like, I could see a version of this movie where he is like a divorced dad who is somewhat estranged, and he's using this to kind of make up for all of it. And that's why he's kind of letting his daughter do whatever he wants, or whatever she wants. It does feel like he has an otherwise okay relationship with his kids, like, so
yeah, his kids seem to like him just fine.
I do think it's really funny that when he gets in the limo and starts doing stuff, when they get home, the daughter says to the mom, "Dad's acting weird." Just like, you should not be able to speak. You just got out of the car with your pop star in it. You should be crying and shitting your pants. Like, you're not able to be like, something's off with Dad. And like, I think Popstar is going to come to our house. What do you think of Lady Raven in this?
She's a surprisingly good singer, an unsurprisingly mediocre actor.
She's a lot of
no shame to her. She's not an actress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I think when the movie starts, you're like, that's not bad. And then as the movie progresses and it becomes the Lady Raven show, you're like, maybe this was a mistake. Not a mistake, but like, this is not, she's not up for this.
I was genuinely shocked how much of this movie she's in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you think it wouldn't go past the concert, right? Like,
oh, yeah, obviously. Right. Why would you have him leave the concert? That would be such a stupid way to end this movie.
But even if he never leaves the concert, you figure, like, she's just the singer. You just see some of snippets of songs or whatever.
Right.
Maybe, like, one interaction as part of the plan. But, like, that's it. Like, she's not really part of this. It's just the setting.
Yeah. But no, she's like the whole thing.
Yeah. She's incredibly important.
I do think there's something about pop stars where if you did tell me she was real, I'd believe you. Like, there's so many pop stars that are popular, and I'm like, I don't get it. So, if her and Ariana Grande switch places tomorrow, I'd be like, oh yeah, Lady Raven. I hear the kids, she's on Disney Channel or something. Now she's pretty popular. Cool, good for her. But yeah, you don't see that often, I guess, in movies like this. A fake pop star doing pop star stuff. I feel like we see fake rappers a lot. Especially in M. Night movies, we've seen at least one of them, and it's the worst thing he's ever done.
I did see a bunch of people being like, I can't believe Midsize Sedan never showed up.
I know.
I was thinking it. I was trying to manifest it so hard.
It's bullshit because, well, I mean, he's dead, I guess, in universe, but still. This could have been before that.
On that beach, that makes you old.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly how he... Yeah, I mean, like, maybe there's like a different... Maybe it's like his cousin or something, luxury sedan or whatever. Stupid names. But yeah, I do think having seen Midsize Sedan, Lady Raven, I'm like, way to go, M. Night. That's actually what one of these looks and sounds like. You almost got it. But I imagine this was mostly the daughter. Came up with the name and stuff.
Yeah.
She is a real pop singer.
Yeah.
And you know it because they really lean into like a lot of the concerty parts of it. Like the parts that take place in the concert venue, there's a lot of concert. There's a lot of concert.
I think I read that she's like, or saw an interview where he was like, we're going to make this movie. You're going to be the pop star in it. Not like he did like sit her down like Will Smith with Jaden, but like, I think he was like, you want to do this? And she was like, yeah. And he was like, you're gonna have to write like 10 songs because there's always songs playing at a concert. Like you can always hear them. And apparently she did that. So
yeah, the songs are all original, which is cool.
Yeah, that's good. I'm trying to think, were there any other interesting actors in the beginning half of this?
Well, there's a Weird Mom.
Yeah.
Yep. But we already talked about Weird Mom.
She's real weird. Yeah, that was very confusing to me. But
did we talk about when the daughter tries to teach him slang, like crispy?
Crispy.
Oh no,
That's
yeah,
crispy.
I forgot about that.
Is that real, or did M. Night Shyamalan just make up Zoomer slang?
I don't know. We're in our 30s, DJ.
I guarantee you that's not real. That is the most M. Night Shyamalan one of these, because it's the thing with crispy is, and the thing with a lot of M. Night Shyamalan things like this are, they're always like 1 degree from being good at like, you know, like I feel like because Mid-Sized Sedan has a song that is referenced once in Old and it's called More Dough for the Cookin'. And it's like, no, you need to go 1 degree further from that to get to what a real one of these sounds like, because there's usually a little bit of flavor or something, right? Because like, what is like a classic or like not even a current teen slang, but like any teen slang? It's not just like, you know, dope is a pretty weird thing to say out of nowhere. But like crispy is like a way you already describe things.
But Nando, a big one right now this summer is brat.
Exactly.
So I've heard.
But that's the thing. It's so crazy that like if she said like that thing is chair, and you'd be like, what? And you'd be like, chair. That's what all the kids are saying cool things are. You'd be like, I guess that's fucking what they're saying. But yeah, like with this,
Can we
it's
make
like
chair happen.
We can. I mean, we
so
tried.
Chair.
Me and Clint Eastwood tried to make chair happen that one year. Remember that? We brought the chair on stage and yelled at it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of directors. But yeah, like it's M. Night Shyamalan, man. It's all this shit. It's the fucking butcher. It's crispy. It's the overseer. It's, you know, I'm trying to think of some other things that he's invented in his movies that it's like, this is my thing, right? As I left this movie, my first thought was court appointed co-writer. We need to get the law to force someone to sit down with M. Night in these scripts to just tweak him just a little bit, because he writes them by himself and it's so clear and they're almost good. But this is the thing. Like, I don't think he wants to make a movie that we're all watching. Like, I think he wants to make a good movie that's good instead of so bad it's good in certain parts, you know?
I would hope.
Yeah.
He's always written his own movies, right?
Yeah, and I think
so. How do you explain like the good ones then?
Well, better actors probably doesn't hurt, right? Like it doesn't hurt that like Mel Gibson,
how dare you impugn
Joaquin Phoenix.
How dare you impugn Josh Hartnett in this movie? I
know. Well, that's the thing. Like some of his recent ones that stink also have good actors, so that's not fully it. I don't know what it is. I think it's, well, you know what it probably is? His old movie, at least Sixth Sense for sure, was like a kind of genre. It was very much a horror movie that felt like a horror movie. Or like it felt like a movie about ghosts and a detective and whatever. Whereas like Old and Split and, well, not Split, Old and this Trap, like aren't supposed to feel like that. They're supposed to feel like people on a vacation talking to each other, or a dad talking to his daughter at a concert. So I think the more stylized the movie is, the more he's able to get away with it. I also think it could just be rich guy brain, right? Like, you know, you go to the coffee shop and you hear people talk and you write your movie. And then 8 humongous movies later, you're sitting in your, you know, humongous writing dungeon and, you know, like you don't know what people sound like. He probably does more than usual because like I imagine his daughter was pretty involved in writing this movie, or at least kind of coming up with certain parts of it. So, you know, she should have been able to stop him and just smack the pen out of his hand as he was writing the word crispy. But like, you know what it is? No, it reminds me of the Ninja Turtles movie, the one I love so much, where like Seth Rogen and the kids would do like the lines, and then the kids would go, "That's not it." And he'd be like, "What do you mean?" They'd be like, "We'd say it like this." And then they just do that one instead. Like M. Night needs that guy. Or he needs like a Han Solo to yell, like, "You can't, this is not a good line, George Lucas. We have to change it to this." But That's just my thing. I don't know, because I want him to succeed. I really do like M. Night Shyamalan. Respect him. Seems very nice. And this movie is very cool looking at points, but it just sounds crazy.
Listen, I love that there's a weird man who gets to finance his own weird movies and like not have to be beholden to the Hollywood studio system. And are those movies good? Usually not. But yeah. I'm happy they exist.
Yeah, like I think some of them, that's the thing with him too. It's not that they've always all been bad either. Like every so often he'll pull out one that's like Split, where everybody's like, he's back. It's as good. Like there's a little bit of dumb bullshit at the end of that one. But more or less, the parts of the movie that are it being itself, which is this, you know, trapped girl being, you know, tormented by this guy with a bazillion personalities or whatever, like, is very effective. So he can do it. Like, this is not, we're not taking a Tommy Wiseau figure and propping them up at this level. So I don't, that's why it's so frustrating to me. Although I do think that like he's able to get by on a lot of this stuff, like Glass, because like Glass didn't cost a ton to make. I know, shocking. And considering all the backup Bruce Willis had and stuff and whatever, Bruce Willis is a whole nother thing now. But like it made a lot of money. This I think kind of bombed. I don't know what the numbers were, but I don't think they were very good. So like he can't do this forever. It seems like eventually it's going to catch up to him. And I do think the word on the street for this movie was mostly negative from just people I talked to. Twitter, I think, had a different reaction to it, but like, that's why I want him to just like make this dialogue a little bit stupid, make the ending less stupid. And then you got a great movie that I think will be a humongous hit, but I don't know. It doesn't help that it came out the week after Wolverine too, but that's beside the point.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. I don't know what the budget was, but as of now, do you guys want to take a guess at the worldwide box office? I'll see if I can find the budget too.
God, 80 million?
That seems too high.
Yeah.
50 million.
Okay. And so that's the box office?
Yeah.
Okay.
Global, right? Yeah.
What's your budget? If you had to guess.
Oh my gosh.
10 million.
Yeah, like I'll say 25 million.
All right. So what were I can't remember. What were the other ones you said before?
I said 80.
I said 50.
Okay. So DJ's closer on the budget. Diggins is closer on the gross. It costs about 30, according to this, about 30 million to make, which I think makes sense. A lot of extras, a lot of sets and stuff.
Yeah,
sure.
Obviously, you know, Shaquille Night Shyamalan, she's not cheap. You know, she's pulling in 10, 20 mil per movie. But it made about 45 million worldwide. So like,
that's so low.
Yeah, it's not good. Like, it's not enough. I think if it made 60, you know, obviously it would have made back its budget kind of, but like, it's a movie that I did see advertised enough, you know. I saw Josh Hartnett out there selling it. So it's not like they weren't trying, but I do think this one had a weird review cycle too. I think the reviews didn't come out until the day the movie got released, which was never an amazing sign. But like, yeah, I think with positive word of mouth, this movie could have, I don't know, gotten to at least where Split was. I don't know. What do you like? We didn't do Old on the podcast, but like Old can't have made more than $50 million, right?
I doubt it, because I feel like it was a very similar in terms of reception, where it came out and everyone was like, it's bad.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's do Old. Budget and box office.
Oh God.
Right.
He had a surprise reaction. I can't tell him which direction.
Yeah.
All right. Old budget. I'm going to say 40 million, and box office. I'm going to say 200 million.
Okay. Diggins.
There's no way Old was more expensive than this movie. There's way fewer extras and big sets and stuff. It's
a mid-sized
mostly
sedan.
takes place in one location.
That island might have been expensive.
So I'll say 15 million for budget. Nando's reaction does indicate that it's more than I thought. I'm going to say 60 million box office.
Okay. Budget 18 million. So, you know.
I was close.
Yeah, you were almost there. Box office. So you're both off on different metrics, but 90 million according to this. So that's pretty successful. Like,
yeah, that's good.
And this is a movie that people really didn't like. Like I don't know anybody that's like, I actually really liked Old. I thought it was great.
Except you.
Except for me, yeah. And I know his Knock at the Cabin went straight to Peacock, so that didn't, I think. It was like a straight to something streaming movie. But like, I don't know, maybe he is able to just do this forever. One good, one bad, one good, one bad. I don't know. Maybe if this came out, do you think if this came out in like December, wasn't surrounded by Deadpool, it could have been a big hit?
I don't know. I feel like it kind of hit that mid buzz where it's like people didn't think it was as bad as Old, but people didn't think it was that good either.
Yeah.
So like the word of mouth just kind of like died pretty fast.
I think that's fair.
Like people talked about Old for a while and it wasn't positive, but people were talking about it.
Yeah. And it's weird how his movies are memes, kind of. Like the meme of the guy saying it's a trap. We set a trap for him. Like I've seen that going everywhere. People call Old the beach that makes you old, right? Like that's the name of the movie. Like their movie's not made to be taken incredibly seriously. Like it would be weird, not weird, I guess, but if like Silence of the Lambs came out and all the kids were doing Anthony Hopkins Silence of the Lambs memes, that'd seem a little strange. But I don't know. Anyway, I spun the wheel, landed on one of DJ's. The believable disease, tick, tick, tick. The believable disease my daughter recovered from, leukemia. You know.
So I wanted to point out this scene because not only is it an insane scene where, you know, Josh Hartnett has to sell that his leukemic daughter with leukemia or recovering from leukemia is here partying at this concert. It's the one scene that heavily features M. Night Shyamalan. So he goes to M. Night Shyamalan because he's sharp and he's like, if I talk to this guy, then you know I'm gonna get her to be the dream girl. If M. Night Shyamalan doesn't get leukemia pilled by Josh Hartnett, who does he pick for Dreamer Girl?
Why don't you just pick some random girl, right? Like
yeah,
just down there picking it. Yeah. Well, so shame for that girl who would have got picked. But also like you can't get fooled that easy. M. Night Shyamalan. It's you're putting a stranger that close to Taylor Swift. You got to do some kind of vetting. I don't know.
Well, do they? Like, is this a thing that's ever happened before? Like, do real concerts have this? They just pull you on stage.
Have I mean, I feel like there are times when like an audience member has been pulled on stage or something, but like I don't know that there's any pop star who has a dedicated song where every single time they sing it in a concert they pull someone on stage.
Do you think that what's her name IRL, Lady Raven?
Suleika Shyamalan?
Do you think she does this?
I mean, she's like gonna now. I feel like I would be psyched to be the Dreamer Girl or whatever at just like a Shyamalan concert. I'd be psyched to be the dad backstage just looking around. Like, be like, oh, it's like I'm in trap. What are they going to trap me for here? I think M. Night Shyamalan in this movie, by the way, this uncle just doesn't give a shit anymore, you know? Someone's like, my daughter has leukemia. He's like, fuck it, she'll be the Dreamer Girl, whatever. That makes my whole day much easier. I do think if you're Josh Hartnett, you have to kind of pull your daughter aside and be like, listen, I'm going to get you on stage, but you got to be cool, okay? You got to play it long. If they say something, just pretend that's what it is, okay?
Yeah, that's true. Like, would she be willing to like, all right, sweetie, listen, I am going to get you on stage to be the Dreamer Girl, but you have to fake that you had leukemia. Would she be like, fuck it, all right, let's go?
Yeah, I think you could.
Honestly, I feel like this probably happens frequently, that people will figure out that M. Night Shyamalan is the spotter and will lie to him about reasons why their daughter or they should go up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seems too easy. Also, so I thought that, so I had a different theory of this movie. I mean, the one you said where the whole family's in on it. I also thought that the actual trap of the movie was going to be him learning about the trap. So couple examples. When he gave like the Hamilton code word, I was ready for that to be like a false code word. Like, if you run into anyone, tell them the code word is Hamilton, but it's actually fishnets. So, and then, because there's a point where M. Night Shyamalan brings up Josh Hartnett and his daughter to the guys, and like, what's going on? And like, no, it's okay with me. And then M. Night Shyamalan like whispers to the guy, like, something. And I'm like, oh, he's whispering that like, this is the butcher. He's fallen into our trap.
Right.
But no, it's nothing. It's just one of those like, oh, I guess it's nothing. That never comes up again.
I mean, it's the problem with this movie, a movie like this that is kind of so delicate, and you kind of watch the whole movie going, what's actually going on here? If all the shit that's going right for this guy is like borderline magical, you like start going, well, this has to be something else. Like there's there's no way that this is all it. And then you go, oh, I get it. Yeah, he's doing it. But they're all really playing a trap on him. But it's like, nope, they're just all that dumb and talk about all the stuff like to your face. Why would you even tell him the code word at all? Why would you be like, there's the code word, you can't know it? And you go, okay. He didn't ask.
I mean, I if I recall, I think he presses a little bit like, can you tell me the code word? And then like the t-shirt vendor, like he gets excited. He's like, yeah, I can tell you. Right. Like,
yeah.
It's like, I'm not supposed to, but I mean, what I think he even does say, like, I mean, it's not like you're that butcher guy, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Did your audience lose it when he gave him the box cutter as if he was going to slit his throat right there?
Well, kind of. But do you remember what the line he uses with that, or the line that comes with that is? Like,
I don't remember.
He gives it back to him and he says, wouldn't want you to get cut or something like that, which I assume is supposed to be like, wouldn't want you to get fired for losing your box cutter or something. But
no,
like,
I think he says that because before he hands it back to him, he slides it back down.
Oh,
so
okay.
He's like, I'm sliding it down because I don't want you to get cut.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
At least like 4 people in my theater were just like waiting for him to die right
oh
there.
Yeah,
like, you know, just like stab him in the neck and just
well, and I spun the wheel and on one of Diggins is Agent 47. That is the vibe of this movie at certain points.
Yeah, because he just puts on clothes or badges or whatever, and everyone acts like they can't recognize him.
Mm-hmm.
Or they fully believe that he is whatever he's dressed as.
Yeah, his mysterious Agent 47 face.
Yeah. And like, I guess he's like kind of unremarkable looking, but he's still really tall. You know, like I think he would stand out if I saw a tall person like that at the back of the Wendy's or whatever, and I worked at Wendy's. I'd be like, who's that tall guy?
Again, I really think that, as I said in the summary, I think the thing that works the most against him here is he's very obviously not wearing the uniform that we see exists.
Yeah, it's who's the guy that does this and stuff? What's a movie where a character does this all the time? Like,
well, like pretends to be people.
I'm trying to think. I'm thinking like the Ocean's movies do this a lot, where a character will get caught in a bind and then just kind of power their way through a situation where like you get caught by a security guard and then you're like, oh, I'm glad you caught me because where you been? You're not on your post, you know? And like, if you show some authority, everybody just automatically folds because they don't know who you are. And they're like, because of mismanagement or whatever, you're able to do that. But he doesn't do that. He just like sneaks around a lot. Like he's like, yeah, like a spy, with his little apron on. Yeah. You know what I mean, though? I feel like that's in Ocean's 11. It's in something. One of these movies.
I can't recall.
It's like, maybe there's other movies with Brad Pitt in it where he does this. Troy. Have you guys ever seen Troy?
I have seen Troy.
And that's how they do
the
Trojan horse. They're like, do you guys want this horse? And they're like, it's like trap. And he's like, no, it's cool. I'm your boss. And they go, all right, we'll take your Trojan horse. It's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. This movie is weird. But yeah, Agent 47. I do think there's a closet full of dead bodies somewhere in this place now, right? Like, for sure. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
I mean, I think he would have had a better job. He would have been doing a better job if he was like slitting people's throats, dumping them in dumpsters and waste baskets and stuff.
Yeah.
And taking their clothes. I think he could have gotten away with it if he was doing that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would have worked.
Or
I mean, maybe not
throwing coins so people would go look at it.
Right. And that's why. Okay. So, so yeah, it has that, Assassin's Creediness too, where like, the bit with the merchandise, I'm like, oh, he's going to throw it out of the car or some shit. And then everybody's going to lose their mind.
That's also what I thought.
And he didn't even do that. He's got to get better at this job that he's made for himself. Because, yeah, that part, there were a lot of parts like that where I was like, you got to blend in a little better. But about halfway through, he just pulls it, you know? That's pretty good. Just like, does the Hail Mary pass. Because the spin the wheel again landed on one of Diggins's. It's just, I'm the trapped in now. This is the trap where the trapper becomes the trappee. The trapezist. Like in The Greatest Showman, you know? But yeah, what did you guys...
He becomes Zendaya.
Did you guys like that bit where he goes like, I'm the trap, you got me. Or, I'm the butcher.
I think it is the single most insane thing he could have done at that moment,
Mm-hmm.
which means I did kind of love it, but not because I thought it was good.
Yeah, me too. I kind of like that bit. It was also, I think, the first time we actually saw him like talk outside of like the voice, his little like, hey guys voice.
Yeah, right.
That was interesting because that was like, oh, good, he can still act. Thank God. But yeah, if you're Lady Raven in that situation, what do you do?
Oh man, is the greater, so it's a true trolley problem, but is the greater good to be like, guys, I got him, you know? So you gotta, it's one life, but you know, you got the butcher.
I mean, honestly, the thing to do is to help him get out, be like, all right, it was great to meet you guys, bye. And then the second he's gone, you call the FBI lady and you're like, I met him, here's his exact description of where he lives.
Yeah.
And his car license, because he was like, you could drop us off at our car. Yeah, here's his license plate number. Here's, like, if she hadn't done the stupid bring me to your house thing, she could have gotten him caught so easy.
Yeah. That's a great point. I also assume when her limo drives away from her concert, it's like 5 limos, you know? It's not just
you gotta
her.
have decoy limos.
Yeah, and like other people that are your entourage who are also following you. Like, I don't buy that you can just drive your limo to this person's house and there's no one else there besides your one driver. But I don't know, she's got really good boundaries, I guess, with her staff. Yeah, what else?
Maybe she's not really that famous.
That's true. Well, she packed this thing, the Trap Center. The second show at the Trap Center, too. So, like...
Yeah.
And she sold it out. But maybe it's like a specific kind of niche crowd that, like, really goes crazy for Lady Raven. But
Lady Raven's supposed to be like Taylor Swift, right?
She is supposed to be like Taylor Swift.
I think so. It's not. I mean, I'm not up on the children enough and their music tastes to know exactly. But that's the vibe I got.
Yeah, it's weird. I can't remember any of the music, but like, I would just assume, just based on concert, I'm supposed to go Taylor Swift. I guess maybe she's supposed to be a little younger, so like, I don't know. Who's like popular and young? Ariana Grande.
Charlie XCX.
Yeah, someone like that probably.
Sabrina Carpenter.
Chappell Roan.
Well, I don't know about Chappell Roan. I think she's closer to a Sabrina Carpenter type than a Chappell Roan type. Chappell Roan would have fucking karate chopped the phone out of his hand and just, you know, pinned the, like, certain pop stars. I feel like you'd have a lot more trouble pulling this off with if you're Mr. Trap. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. What would you do if you're the wife and Taylor Swift comes home? Do you think you could get rid of that? Not like get rid of that, but like, do you think you can make that situation just work? Or would you have a heart attack?
I'd have a heart. Well, if I'm this lady, or if I'm me.
Well, I guess you're a you that would have married Josh Hartnett, been convinced he was trapped, and then tried to get him caught while he was at this concert somehow. And you, for some reason, believed that was a good idea. Like that would work.
So wait, hold on. I hear Lady Raven's coming, and I've also tried to set up my husband to be caught for being a serial killer.
Yep.
And how do I feel about this situation?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty insane, I think.
Yeah.
Do you think you would also be like, I gotta make the serial killer thing, like I gotta get the serial killer part of this done? Or you think you'd be like, I really gotta clean the house because I don't want Lady Raven to be embarrassed by our dirty house, you know?
That
like,
one, that second one.
That part of my brain would take over too. I'd be like, well, we'll deal with the serial killer shit tomorrow, but for now.
It is like there's a famous person stepping foot inside my house.
Yeah.
Also, like, I know they don't have, like, you know, famous pop star mansion. But they got a pretty nice house.
The Trapp family?
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't be so embarrassed, right, for Lady Raven to be there. But, like, if I don't know, if I were thrust in this scenario, I'd be like, fuck, we have to get an Airbnb now, and that's the address, and, like, I just drive, stall. She can't be in here.
Yeah. That would be good for Josh Hartnett, too, because then it'd be a fake address. But
yeah,
that would require the wife to be in on it, which she was not.
I so wish it was Trapp Family. That would have been such a good fucking movie.
Yeah, like the Von Trapps.
Hey.
Yeah.
The Von Trapp murdering family.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Trapp Family, husband and wife Bonnie and Clyde, or is it Trapp Family, all of them? Like the kids are in on it too.
Or just Trapp Family, father and daughter. Mom doesn't know, but father's covering up for daughter or training her in his footsteps or something.
That's so good.
I feel like that's where I thought this movie was going for a big chunk of it.
Yeah. I thought it was wife. I thought it was like a Bonnie and Clyde situation.
Once we met the wife and she was acting weird too, I was like, oh, she's like a real estate agent or some shit. We're going to find out that she has houses and whatever. But yeah, then they didn't do that. But yeah, I think serial killer daughter would have been kind of fun. Because then it would have been like fun to watch the little daughter be a serial killer. I would like enjoy that. Watch her fucking torture Lady Raven. That would have been amazing.
A friend like pointed out to me also, like the beginning where they're like, oh, the incident with you and Jody. Like, oh,
right.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You know, it would have made sense if they're like trying to make you think that it's a bullying thing, but it turns out she did some like messed up stuff because she's a little serial killer, just like him. And it'll be like, oh man. And yeah, Lady Raven getting like butchered or whatever. I think if the movie like ended around there with that reveal, I think I would have really liked this movie.
Me too. Yeah, and you know what? I would also like the movie where like the daughter is like, she has to go to she really wants to go to this concert. She is aware that they're doing trap bullshit, but she's also like, listen, Dad, I'm going to let them get you because I want to finish. Like he's like, let's go sneak out through the floor. And she's like, I'm still watching the fucking concert, Dad. I don't care. We'll figure out a way to get you out later. But like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. That would be pretty cool.
I could be two things, a serial killer, but also someone who fucking loves Lady Raven.
Right. Yeah. Like,
God damn it.
And that would be super fun. And that would be a fun, like, what's the word? Like, assumption for Lady Raven to make that is wrong. That is, the daughter also doesn't serial kill. And then like she'd get, the daughter alone and be like, hey, something's wrong with your dad. I need you to help me. And then, the daughter would like take her into the secret evil basement full of chains or whatever and carbon monoxide. The actor who plays the daughter named Ariel Donahue, I've never seen her in anything before. Is she a Wolf by Me or Wolf Like Me? Have you guys watched that? I think it's kind of new. It's one of those shows that goes made on streaming and then nobody watches it. But she's from that. I thought she was pretty good. The little daughter. Not Emma Chapman's daughter, the one that was...
Yeah.
Trapp's daughter.
Honestly, I thought she might have been like more annoying to watch, but like I thought she was like pretty good.
I actually, maybe it's because everyone else around her feels like a fake human. But I liked her in this. I thought she did a good job of being an excited little kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. She played it off super well. And like, I assume that is like a level of like acting. You know, maybe M. Night Shyamalan is like a really good director and like can get actors to that place they need to get to. But maybe also his writing isn't good. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, I definitely feel like the weirdness in his movies is intentional. I just don't think it always works.
I think that's kind of true. I think that's right. I think the weirdness is somewhat intentional, but I also think he's a good director when it comes to like technical stuff. I'm not convinced he's a great actors director, but I think frequently he gets good actors that can like kind of figure this stuff out. But every so often in a Shyamalan movie, there's an actor in there who you're like, they don't know how to act as well as the other ones. And they feel kind of flat, like a mid-sized sedan, for example.
Okay.
And you're like, this person maybe needed an actors director, like I don't know, someone with a little bit more, like a James Gunn or something like that. Not to say that's exactly what he is, but like someone who's known for writing more relatable characters. Because I feel like acting in a movie like this, where all your dialogue lines are like insane, has to be hard. You know, like delivering that line that the guy at the t-shirt stand delivers.
Yeah,
it's like Shakespeare. You know, it's a crazy monologue.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like, yeah, because you have to decide, you have to make a choice for your character to say, like, that freaking nut job that goes around just chopping people up. Like, I assume M. Night Shyamalan hands you that exact sentence, and it's like, this is what you're saying. And you have to, figure out a way to say it. That's tough. As opposed to just, like, saying, the serial killer. The butcher, you've heard of him.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. What else we got? Oh, it's gonna spin the wheel. Tick, tick, tick. Landed on one of DJ's the most effective Instagram live ever, which is this dovetails with one of Diggins. This is right next to it on the wheel. The FaceTime from Taylor Swift. Let's do the FaceTime first because that leads into the Instagram.
Yeah, Matt. Like, I just really want to everyone listening to this, just picture the scenario. You got grabbed and pulled into a van by the Onceler. And then passed out, and you wake up chained to a pole in a basement. There's like some sort of video camera system that sometimes just turns to look at you, but nobody talks to you. Like, there's nothing going on. You're just sitting down here, slowly starving, getting dehydrated, like screaming yourself,
shitting yourself.
No one can hear you. You're like it's been hours and hours at the very least at this point. Like, it's been at least since the last night, right?
Yeah.
So it's been at least like 14, 16 hours, maybe more. Cause I think it's almost nighttime. It might be like 18 hours you've been down here. You're like feeling weak and faint. You've pissed and shit yourself. You think you're going to die. You've spent the past 18 hours just like being certain you're going to die. And then the video thing finally pops up and it's fucking Taylor Swift. Like, how did this guy not lose his mind?
Yeah.
Oh my god, Lady Raven!
Maybe he doesn't know who that is. Maybe he's just like, she's got a lot of makeup on. She looks like she's somebody, but I don't know who that is. Maybe a TikTok star.
You're like, that can't be her.
Yeah.
But if he did recognize her, there was that brief split second before she started talking where he's like, oh my god, Taylor Swift's a serial killer?
Yeah, I'd be like, he was recruitment for Taylor Swift. I would also think that.
Also, what is he seeing?
That's a good question.
Right? Like,
he's definitely hearing her. I don't know if he is seeing her.
Was it just audio?
It's unclear.
I feel like there is some implication that it is video too. I feel like they say something.
I mean, the movie isn't smart enough to remove that because, like, she's holding a phone looking at a guy, and he's a guy on a screen that it's like, oh, they're obviously FaceTiming. Even if that's not what's going on, like, it is now.
Because this isn't just the FaceTime. This is the app that Josh Hartnett has set up to do trap stuff, I guess, or something, that has the release carbon monoxide button, or he's at least pretending does. But, like, it's some other thing. But, yeah, I think if I got that FaceTime from Taylor Swift, I would assume I'm hallucinating it or something. But then I'd be like, I think I'd have a second of like, what is this? Like, is this a show? Right. Am I on a TV show? Is this Mr. Beast? Did Mr. Beast do this? Seems like the kind of shit he would do. I don't know. I'd also be like, Taylor Swift, why weren't you in Deadpool? It seemed like that was something that was going to happen, Taylor. Come on. Yeah. And then, so DJ, the most effective Instagram live ever.
Okay. So, and Diggins kind of talked this up in the summary, but like just going through the mechanics of this, where she's just like, someone look for a broken statue and a blue door in South Jersey or Philadelphia, and like, I'm not doubting this could work as like a Reddit post, because there's some crazy stuff, like saw a man on a plane who was definitely being cheating on his wife.
Oh, yeah.
Someone knows a guy who was flying from Newark to Dallas on Wednesday and was wearing a red shirt, and then like finally someone's like, that's my husband, right? Like maybe over time.
Is that what happened to you?
Yep.
Got me.
Gotta stop wearing that red shirt. You know,
yeah, that
sticks out like a sore thumb.
Dead giveaway, yeah.
Especially while doing infidelity. Like over time, the internet can sleuth to maybe they could have found the lion statue with the blue door, but in real time, there's no fucking way. Like also
in real time, and also like she has to spot out the right messages in Taylor Swift's Instagram live feed. Like, there's no way that thing is going slow enough for a human being to read.
I feel like we see like all of the messages, and it's maybe like 20 over the course of the whole call. And the first couple are like, "OMG, Lady Raven," and then by the 10th, it's like, "I know that house." It's like, wow, that was fast.
It's just like the fact that this is her play. Also, this is gonna be like front pages. It's gonna lead every like evening news, like Lady Raven goes on Instagram Live with some whacked out shit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, trust me. If I saw this, I would assume this was an ad for something, you know? Be like, oh, Lady Raven's making a movie. That's fun. I didn't know she acted, but I guess this is like a found footage something. I also think I would love to be just somebody else with a fucking blue door in Philadelphia who mob justice is about to fall down upon. Like, an army of 12-year-olds and their uncles are going to just kick down your door and try to find the secret man in your basement. I don't think that's going to work, buddy.
It's like some Pizzagate shit.
Yeah.
Like, what if you're wrong?
Like, how much of that must have been, right? Like, they got this guy out so quickly that he gets out over the course of maybe 5 minutes, which means this person must have been within 5 minutes of the house that they got to, which is, possible. And then kick down the door, I assume, because she says that. She's like, just go in and go to the basement and save the guy. And then, just like assume there's no other traps in the house, which is like what you would maybe do if you were a serial killer, but whatever. And then get this guy out, so much so that you're not even there getting him out on camera. The next time they check on the camera, he's gone. Like, it's a magic trick. You would have to be either insanely lucky or that happened to 50 different people across the tri-state area.
Say, after all the Butcher news, there's also a news report that night. There appeared to be an epidemic of young girls' uncles breaking down doors of random houses in Philly tonight.
Yeah.
And like, that's the other wild thing where Lady Raven goes to my audience who are minors, get your parents, take them with you, have them do this. Your fucking 12-year-old goes up to you, Daddy, we have to go find the blue doors to break him down. Lady Raven say so. It's like, all right, you're done with Lady Raven. No more Lady Raven. She's done.
Yeah.
Fucking
like that. Like that one child star who told his audience to go into their mommies and daddies' wallets and pocketbooks, take out the green squares, and send them to him.
No, who is that?
Is that real?
Is that also
That was a
something Mr.
long,
Beast did?
long time ago.
Oh,
Okay.
That's a real thing.
that sounds so funny. I like that guy. I think that is, yeah, I feel like it's that, or it's like, you'd be like, oh, she's having a breakdown or something. Like,
Yeah.
she's fallen into a Pizzagate kind of conspiracy.
Or it's one of those like Britney Spears posts
Yeah.
where everyone's like, she's got put in a conservatorship and she's trying to tell us she needs out.
But yeah, no.
Yeah. Like, Lady Raven's plan does not end with the guy getting rescued, or it does, but then, like you said, just a lot of other people are breaking and entering.
Well, because the other thing that I don't think Lady Raven ever does is get back on the thing and go, all right, guys, we found him, stop. So there would be people that would just be throwing fucking Molotov cocktails at houses where they know the secret guy is. And then, like, they find out maybe, like, later on the news that Lady Raven actually found the guy. But Lady Raven stops video recording pretty quickly, so
yeah, like
no follow-up.
Like, Lady Raven's, like, spending the night in prison for, like, inciting a riot.
Yeah.
Or is it catching a heavy fine or something.
Yeah, especially because, like, for the first guy that gets there and kicks down the door, awesome. But you really better hope that you get out of there before the next guy comes to kick down the door and finds you with the guy, because now you have to fight him because he thinks you're the butcher because she didn't explain it. She didn't tell you what the butcher looks like or anything. She was just like, the butcher's got a guy in a basement. Go get him. So, yeah, every single guy that gets there has to fight the next guy. And, yeah, I think eventually it would be a mob like that time that guy said, I'll give out free PlayStations in Central Park and, like, close down half of New York City. Like, it would just spiral out of control. But also, like, I feel like if I got to that house and there were other people already doing stuff, I'd be like, all right, we can go home. We don't need to do this. You know, somebody's got it covered. What if it was you guys? What if you you saw an Instagram live and it's your neighbor? You're like, that's actually the house I live next to. Would you go check?
Yeah, like, if there was, like, compelling, like, I would need to be like, there is a person trapped at, like, the number next to me address, and it's like, all right, let's see what's going on. But if it's like someone living in a street with these features and a broken tree and da da da, I'd be like, I don't know if I'm, gonna friggin', do this.
Oh yeah. I don't think I'd do it if I was in the first situation. I think I'd be like, I got two neighbors.
Really?
The other neighbor will probably take care of it. Yeah, I don't want to get involved. This is pretty complicated.
I'd be like, I don't know that, even if this is all real, I don't know that I want to see what's in a serial killer's murder house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe at a minimum, I'm calling the police and be like, it's next to me. The trap guys. Yeah. I know what Lady Raven's talking
call
about.
911. Be like, hello, in an Instagram live, Taylor Swift told me that someone's being held in the building next to me. Can you guys send someone to check that out?
Yeah, you definitely would start it. Hello? Yes, I'm another one of those. 1587 Main Street. You don't have one of those yet? All right, cool. And then there'd be another person like, I'm having a heart attack. And then they'd be on hold. Sorry, Lady Raven fans are blowing up the 911 right now. You're all going to die. This Lady Raven, man. Maybe I'm just spitballing here. Concert trap wasn't a great idea. Especially since she knew him. I don't understand why she just put a fireman's jacket or something from his fire, squad thing. Because then you still don't have to pick him, but it's still like they're going to get him the next day.
Yeah, it feels like there's way more incriminating information she could have left behind.
Yeah. Like, honestly, like, I think this story works if it's not his wife. And if it's somebody else who's found his wallet but only found the ticket or something, and the cops don't believe them. And they're like, shit, I have to use something to prove that it's him. Maybe someone who he has killed or is about to kill. And then they find this ticket and they're like, I'll do this. It just can't be anybody who has any more information about him because that is just psychotic. But Alison Pill for you, man. She was in this.
Yeah.
Who is she?
She's the wife.
She's in stuff.
Oh,
She's
right.
in like,
Yeah.
What's she from?
I knew that.
Besides Snowpiercer.
She invented the pill.
She did invent
Oh my God.
Which pill? You guys know which pill. The Allison Pill.
Allison pilled.
Yeah.
You get Allison pilled.
What is her? What is she from? Because I've seen her in a million things, but now I'm like completely drawing a blank.
She's in Scott Pilgrim, right?
She is in Scott Pilgrim, yeah. Oh, The Newsroom. That's what she's kind of. That what I know her from. Yeah.
Remember that show that we're all like, this is a good one.
It is a good one.
Oh yeah.
It's the only thing
Newsroom,
less believable than Trap.
The guy reported the news, remember? On that airplane?
Yeah, if only our news was like that instead of what it is. Maybe our crazy world would be okay. But instead, it's bad. Yeah, she's okay in this. I don't know. It's a little weird.
I mean, she really only gets the one scene, but I thought it was a good scene.
Yeah. I think I'd honestly like to see it again. Just watch the first scene with her, knowing that she already suspects her husband is Trap. And then kind of go from there. Because
Chapman,
Mr. Trap. Same way that what's his name? I refuse to call any character in Split anything but Split, because that's all their names. Even though I'm sure he had a name in that, right? What was this like
Beast?
The Beast? Yeah, exactly. See, M. Night, come on, man, come on. Just like one round of rewrites. Just anything. Google kinds of beasts, and then you'll find a cool name that's like a little bit different, and then you use that or something. But no, he can't even be bothered. But this is great. I'm gonna spin the wheel one more time.
Tick 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 tick
tick tick tick tick tick, and it landed on. One of Diggins says this movie is too powerful to end. Yeah. How long is this movie? I can't remember.
It's an hour 50. I want to
say. Is it? Okay.
That sounds right. I'll double check.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. It's not that the movie is like incredibly long. I don't think that it is, but it starts to feel really long because, yeah, it feels. We talked about this in the summary and a little bit before, but it feels like there's like 7 different points where you're like, oh, this movie's about to end.
Oh, yeah.
And then it keeps going. 105 minutes. So yeah, an hour 45.
Yeah, it's honestly, that's shorter than I expected. But like, I wish this movie didn't ever leave the concert. That would have been cool.
I agree. I think that would have been better. Because like I said, the first time it seems like it's about to end is when they leave the concert and they go to the house. And you're like, oh, well, this is where the final twist happens.
Mm-hmm.
But no, she does the Instagram Live that we just got finished talking about. And then there's him having to give up because the family's stopping him. And you're like, well, that's things wrapped up.
Yeah.
And then it's not, he kidnaps Lady Raven. And then she gets away from him and he's all surrounded. And you're like, well, that's it. And then he gets away from that.
Yeah.
It just keeps going.
And it still never ends because he's about to escape. So maybe we'll get Trap 2. I mean, probably not because it didn't make as much money as you would hope. But
also, how?
It's not out of theaters yet, so it still has more money to make.
That's true. Maybe everybody else will also see Borderlands and go, I was too harsh on you, Trap. I need to give you another shot and go see it again. Yeah. Did what was the other thing I was gonna say? When he gets a hug from his daughter, were you like, oh, she's gonna give him a weapon or something? Because I was like, they don't let you hug your daughter.
Like, I got her.
Oh, you thought he was going to use his daughter as leverage and then escape?
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been good. That would have been very cool.
Yeah.
What do you think he is going to do with that little thing?
He freed himself from his cuffs, and now he will break out of the van and be on the run?
Yeah, use it to, like, open the van, I guess.
He's going to, like... when they open the door, because the door is locked, right? It's a police van.
I would have to assume, yeah.
He's going to do jujitsu on all the cops and then run away, obviously.
Yeah. It's, I assume when they do that, they, like, check to see if there's anything in your pockets before they put you in the little police car. But did they not do that?
I guess not.
Cool. They're really nice to him. Like, besides letting him live and stuff, they let him hug his daughter and let him fix his fucking bicycle. Like, White privilege, man. Josh Hartnett's got it all. Makes you think. Was there I don't know, is there anything else about this movie that was interesting?
I mean,
so many things were interesting about it.
I still am convinced that the FBI lady was the mom.
Mm-hmm. I mean, listen, the movie.
I feel like that can't possibly be true.
Yeah, I that's another thing I have to watch again and just see. I mean, I guess we could probably see the two actors that they used and see how different they are, and it's like what they were going for. Because you were saying the first one was the one from Parent Trap, Dr. Haley Mills, Dr. Josephine Grand.
Yep.
And I assume the other one is Cooper's mother. Is he Cooper? Yeah. And that is Marcia Bennett. So let's see how similar. They're not too far off, actually.
Can I blame M. Night Shyamalan for being, not super descript?
I mean, that's the thing. I feel like it doesn't feel like it's like vague enough to be a twist. Like a lot of things in this movie, I can't tell how intentional it is. I did get that feeling though for a second. I was like, oh, it's going to be his real mom or something. But yeah, I don't know if the movie followed up on it enough. Should know that. What do you think the guy who sold him the t-shirts does the next day? He just leave town?
Yeah, right. Like, you got to get out of there.
You know what? I feel like Trap 2 is Craig going through his job the next day, trying not to be found out as the guy who told him all the stuff he needed to escape.
Yeah. Definitely, like, considering that one girl's face got exploded with oil. Like, if Trap never kills anyone post that, then you're like, all right, well, Lady Raven went through a lot, but whatever. She'll survive. But that one person, they can totally blame him for that kind of. They could put a lot of that on him.
Skull he crushes with his bare hands.
Wait, which one's that?
One of the cops who tasers him.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Crushes the
Forgot about
skull
that
with his bare hands.
That was pretty cool.
It's pretty savage.
What do you guys think about the heart renaissance or whatever we're in right now? Do you think he's back?
Do we have a heart renaissance?
I don't know.
Besides this,
Oppenheimer?
I mean, I guess, but everyone was in Oppenheimer,
and we all got it.
It's true.
The heart renaissance. He was in The Bear, one episode though. He was in that episode of Black Mirror from last season. That's bad. He's in a movie called Fight or Flight. Let's see. He's got 3 more coming up. Let's see. Next one's probably this. Fight or Flight. Oh, have I seen something for this? It's about a plane or something.
Oh, guys. Of course, we're living through it. He was in Operation Fortune Ruse de Guerre.
That's right. He was in Operation Ruse de Guerre. Fortune Favors the Bold or whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah. He is back. We gotta watch that one these days. I turned it on for 5 minutes. And I was like kind of bored. But yeah. Didn't make it. Well, we'll see about Fight or Flight. I was confusing this, by the way, with another movie that I saw a trailer for. I didn't see it for this, but I saw it with Borderlands, I think. Or no, I guess I just watched it online. For a new Marky Mark movie. Did either of you guys see this?
Oh, the plane one?
The one about how he could have stopped 9/11?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Very excited for that.
Well, it's good to know that he's finally putting his money where his mouth is about that.
I mean, I haven't, like, I tried to not pay too much attention to the trailer because the first comment I saw on YouTube was, thank you for showing me the whole movie. But, like, It kind of seems like, if anything, he causes the 9/11 on this plane. So,
yeah, because he's like a terrorist.
Yeah, he's like the bad guy. So maybe this is him getting in the mind of the terrorists,
Oh, this is him showing that if he was the terrorist, though,
no
force on earth could have stopped him.
Exactly. One of the other Wahlberg brothers will have to come in, parachute in like in Air Force One and save everybody. But yeah, he has a bizarre hairpiece in this that looks real weird. I don't know what was happening, but we'll probably get that when it comes out. I mean, we already got that other movie where him and Halle Berry jump off a bridge or whatever. The Union. That comes out pretty soon. Oh my God,
I forgot all about that.
Holy shit, that comes out this week.
Netflix. Man, they don't advertise.
They really don't. Yeah, when you're done watching the season of Umbrella Academy, they didn't tell you existed. Go watch The Union. They didn't tell you exists.
Oh man, August is such a hot month for us this year.
I know.
Well, and we have the Rebel Moon full cut.
Rebel Moon full cut. The Exorcist
the
movie that we didn't do, but is on VOD now.
Mm-hmm. Harold and the Purple Crayon. Borderlands.
Yep. Yeah, I feel bad for people. Not feel bad, but if you gave us a movie that's on your list, it's going to be at least until October until we get to that.
Hey, look, we're not even anywhere near the record for how long it took us to do one of those yet.
Yeah, and this year, I think besides these, we also have, a Venom, we have a Joker, we have a Craven, potentially.
Fried.
Yeah. Wait, which one?
Actually, that's one of our August ones.
Is that this year?
I think it's like in like 3 weeks.
Oh, speaking of that, did you guys see the
I think it's August.
This is movies, man. They're just bad. They shouldn't do them anymore. How are they going to make these movies?
Yeah. Afraid is August 30th.
Oh my God.
It's impossible.
I think all the companies just put out their movies in August because they're like, fuck it. It'll be Deadpool's fault that it didn't make money. We'll never have to explain it to anyone again. Did you guys see the trailer for the new movie where it's Mithrigan, but what if Mithrigan was Mithrigan Fox? Did you see that?
No.
It's like sexy Megan Fox robot. Yeah, it's another one of these. It's like the same too, because like this is more about her horning in on the husband and like he cheats on her, but it's a robot that looks like Megan Fox. So I don't know what they were thinking when they made it, but yeah, I can't remember what this one's called, but it's got another stupid one-word name that is this. Like I'm gonna Google Megan Fox robot movie and I'll figure it out. Subservience. There we go.
I have not heard of this one.
You'd be shocked because it's got all the big stars. Megan Fox, presumably others.
Michelle Marone.
Yeah, and yeah, it comes out at some point at a later date.
Oh boy!
Finally, but yeah, but that's like the theme of movies this year is Mithrigan because Mithrigan was pretty good.
It was perfect.
We made a million of them. Yeah.
Perfect movie.
So, all right. So next week it will be Borderlands, though, right? That is what we're doing.
We have to, right?
Yeah, I think it's.
You're gonna have all this pent up Borderlands energy. You gotta do something with it.
I simply must see this movie.
It's pretty insane. I can't wait. Before that, do you guys have anything to recommend to the fine people, DJ?
Uh-oh.
You've had so long.
Is it?
I know, but I spent a chunk of it sick. I gotta say, Republic of Tea makes an amazing ginger peach tea. That if you got like stomach bug or rumbly tumblies, you have that tea and it's fantastic.
What's it called? Ginger peach tea?
Yeah, by the Republic of Tea. That's my favorite tea. Is like Lipton, yeah, that's like your basic whatever. But if you want good tea, the Republic of Tea has awesome tea.
This costs $10. Wow.
What's good tea?
It's got Bridgerton on it. Not all of them, but one of them does. Republic of Tea's website is really pushing that Bridgerton tea.
I was unaware.
Gotta get some of that.
That they have Bridgerton tea.
And I do. Yeah.
All right, this is gonna be a half-hearted wreck because I'm not deep in enough yet, but it's the best I got. So Michelle and I started watching the new season of Too Hot to Handle. And so for the last few seasons, the premise has been that they tell these people that they're on some kind of fake reality dating TV show. And then they reveal, oh my God, you're on Too Hot to Handle. I'm like, no, what the fuck? As a quick recap, Too Hot to Handle is a show where they punish these horny fucking hot people for doing sexy things.
Yeah.
Including jerking off. So there's a prize pot and the money dwindles if they do that.
And not just they, Alexa. A little Alexa triangle does it.
Nando, you don't know the new twist for this season. It's crazy.
Is it a sexy lady or something? Is it Megan Fox?
Yeah, they finally got a real robot.
A little robot to do dancing like Megan.
So, this season they told them they're going to be on Too Hot to Handle. And of course they're all like, I'm ready for Too Hot to Handle. I'll do whatever I got to do. Or Lana can't control me. But now in this season, there's a new Alexa robot in addition to Lana. So we have Lana, but then we also have Bad Lana, which is like a black and red Terminator style Lana Alexa. And when Bad Lana's in charge, there's no rules. They just get to do whatever they want.
Does it like dirty talk you? Does it start the relationship? You guys should definitely fuck right now.
It does have a weirdly like, it's so bad, but it has like a Bad Lana.
Oh, I love
like
it.
one of those voices.
Is it? Do you think it feels similar to adding a third to your relationship?
Do you think they're gonna sell Bad Lana on Netflix.com or whatever?
Yeah, I can't wait for the Bad Lana AIs. So unfortunately, because we're so, I'm hesitant to wreck it because like we're so few in. I'm only one episode in that I don't know how it pans out, but I gotta say I'm cautiously optimistic because the Bad Lana gimmick is so fucking corny, and like the people they got again are insane. I will say that Love Is Blind, Too Hot to Handle does a very good job at just out of all these, probably this and Love Island just gets the absolute hottest people.
Does it
like,
though?
Yeah, I think they're all 10s.
I feel like the first season I saw, I was like, these people look okay, and then F-Boy Island showed up, and I was like, oh wait, this is what these people
That's
look
true.
like.
F-Boy Island does have and Love Island. To be fair, Michelle's been watching Love Island USA, and I've been catching glimpses. I can't recommend it because I have no idea what's going on, but those people are like pretty insanely hot.
I thought you were joking when you said it was called Bad Lana, but I'm watching the trailer and
No,
it's called Bad Lana. Instead of having a vertical stripe, it has or instead of having a horizontal stripe, it has a vertical stripe.
And it's like Terminator. It's like black and red.
Yeah. That's good.
So, it's just another reality dating show to throw chum into the water. If you weren't aware of this, there's a new season 2 Hot to Handle with Bad Lana. And I appreciate Netflix on trying to innovate in its own stupid way.
That's so funny. That's pretty good.
They need to make more of these shows only so they can have the farm system for when they do season 3 of Perfect Match. Because these shows now only serve as a feeder for Perfect Match, it seems. Because it seems like Netflix only has a few of these shows that actually work, and the rest is just like fodder. But it's like Love Is Blind kills, and then I think Perfect Match is pretty well, but then the rest is like, ugh. Who's watching these?
I don't know.
Probably just me. Or Cats. It's more Cats,
yeah,
right?
A lot of cats.
Cats are just like falling onto remotes, putting on Bad Lana.
But now the cats have so much Rebel Moon. Why would they even need to touch this?
How much grain do you think is in the director's cut?
I don't know. I haven't heard from anybody who's watched it, so that's not a great sign.
Neither.
I'm not sure anyone has.
That's not what Netflix
Diggins.
said. Let's see.
So many cats.
I'm going to just look right now real quick on the top 10 movies on Netflix. Let's see.
I'm sure Rebel Moon is there.
It is not. This might be from last week, though. Yeah, this is not from this week. When?
They have to lie and say that I think I glanced. I think the first one is 3.5 hours, and the second one is like just over 3.
That's crazy. That's too
We're gonna
long.
do it, right?
I mean, yeah, if everything else turns off or something. But
I was gonna say
it's just not like, it's funny how not funny. Well, kind of funny how little of a cultural impact this had, but then they still had to like do this, and how everybody was like, okay, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, feels like you could have done this from the beginning.
Yeah, I'll watch it if you want.
So anyway, that's my recommendation. T and Love Is Blind season, or not, oh my gosh, Too Hot to Handle season 6, I think. I don't know. Diggins, what do you have to rec?
I watched a movie that I think DJ would really have appreciated.
Oh.
Because it was the perfect length for a movie. 4 hours long.
God damn.
Oh my god. Another Jenny Nicholson video.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was an actual movie.
Okay.
I saw Lawrence of Arabia during its re-release into theaters recently.
Oh.
Wow.
Which is, of course, the old historical epic from 1962. Although it's kind of a subversion of the epic genre, really. But we don't need to get into that. Have either of you ever seen that movie?
Yeah.
No.
Lawrence of Arabia. It is very long. It's cool.
Yeah, it's a great movie. So it follows T.E. Lawrence, who was a British officer who sort of embedded with the Arabians in World War One to help them sort of organize and fight a revolt against the Ottoman Turks, because they were in Germany's alliance in that war. And he sort of, through that, got really close with a lot of them and got this appreciation for Arabian culture, everything. But at the same time, he was a soldier of the British Empire. And despite his promises to the Arabians that they would be able to have an independent country after the war, the British and French governments had already drawn up treaties about how they were going to colonize the shit out of the Middle East when the war was over.
They love that.
So they do love that.
It's their favorite.
So it's sort of this thing about him starting out as this, not necessarily, I mean, idealistic isn't wrong, but he's just when he first goes out into Arabia, he's like this young guy who just wants to go out and have this kind of adventure, and be among this culture that he appreciates. But as it goes on, he gets exposed to more and more things and has to keep, dividing his loyalties between the British and the Arabians. And it just really grounds him down. By the end of the movie, he's a shell of himself. And I mean, besides that, it's also cinematographically very beautiful. It has all these sweeping shots of the desert. And it was a very influential movie too, in terms of if you watch it now, the editing and such will seem pretty conventional, but a lot of things it did with match cuts and other techniques really inspired future filmmakers, including Stephen King. It's one of Steven Spielberg.
I was
one
going
of
to
Steven
say
Spielberg's favorite movies ever.
I bet Stephen King probably likes it too. Let's see.
Probably, but I meant Steven Spielberg because he's the one who directs movies.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, if you can catch it in a theater, I think you should, because it is this really sweeping movie with incredible visuals. But I think even if you could just watch it at home, I think it is a movie well worth watching. DJ will definitely watch it because it's his favorite length of movie.
You watch it over the course of 40 quibbies or whatever.
That's how I'll do it.
It's pretty doable. Yeah, if you Google Lawrence of Arabia, Stephen King, nothing comes up. I don't think you've seen it. He'd love it, though.
Good thing I corrected myself already. What about you, Nando? Anything to recommend?
Sure. I got a couple things real quick. Comic stuff. I just picked up a couple books today. I only got to read a couple of them, but I do think one book that's pretty fun. One book, Power Fantasy. Is it called Power Fantasy? Yeah. The Power Fantasy by Kieran Gillen and Casper Wingard is very cool. It's the hot new indie book. It's an image book, and it's about a world with 6 people that all have superpowers and fucking run the whole world. And then it's complicated, but it's very good. It'll be a show in a year because it's pretty cool. I would say the one that surprised me though, the comic that I haven't heard people talking about as much is who's in charge of this one? Leah Williams, I know, writes it. I don't know who's the rest of it. Sometimes comics are annoying. They don't put all the information on the front page. They don't put everybody's names. You have to get to halfway through the book where it actually says who wrote it. So anyway, there's a Gotham City Sirens book. So it's here we go. So Leah Williams, Matteo Lally, and Triona Farrell. Basically, it's the Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Catwoman group. But it's a really silly book where they're dealing with some sort of evil live streamer, which is it's explained in the end of the first book what's going on. And I think it's so stupid that I like it. I think Harley Quinn's one of those characters that can be really, you're one way or another on her. Sometimes she's really annoying, sometimes she's good. I think it's written in a way that is pretty fun. So the first one of those is out. The only other thing, speaking of Harley Quinn, either you guys watch a new Batman show?
There's a new Batman show?
Yeah, thank you, Netflix. It's not a Netflix show, but it's got the Netflix release thingy.
Bruce Timm was involved, right?
Very involved, yeah. It's very much like the X-Men 97 of Batman the Animated Series. Not in the same way that it's like picking up where it left off, but you're like, they looked at that and went, let's make that again. And they nailed it because it's really good. It takes place in the 40s or something. So it's more, it's like a Batman who is not the one that, what's his name played? Kevin Conroy. It's like a different one. Played by Hamish Linklater, who is from a lot of stuff. I don't know. He's a pretty good Batman. He sounds a lot like Kevin. A lot of Batman, I feel like they all kind of sound like Kevin Conroy. But it's like it's kind of like I said, like it's an older story. So there's very little technology and stuff, which is nice because the more Batman has to deal with technology, the dumber it gets. But it's also like reimagined versions of most of the villains. Some of them, I think, like Catwoman, you got a kind of similar Catwoman to what you usually get, but like there's a Clayface that they have a take on. There's a Harley Quinn that they have a very specific take on. That's pretty interesting. And this is the first season of it is very much like Batman, not like versus the cops, but it's this interesting like power struggle in Gotham between, you know, Batman trying to solve murders and the cops don't like him and Gordon's trying to figure out what to do with him. And Barbara Gordon is in it. And because this is a Bruce Timm thing, they might be in love. I don't know if they are yet. I've only gotten about halfway through it, but she's an adult in this one.
He has said that it's meant to be platonic. He's not doing his weird Bruce Barbara thing in this one.
See, but
from what I hear, there's still vibes.
I think he should, because like they wrote a Barbara that I think is an interesting, you know, foil for this Bruce. And also like, yeah, she's like an adult who is a lawyer who doesn't have any, you know, she's not been raised by Batman to do karate and now she's in love with him. It's a different thing. So if you were going to write that story, this is what it would be. I will say it also does a little bit more supernatural stuff than I'm used to from a Batman story like this, or at least more than I was expecting, because like some of the villains early on have like the usual kind of vat of chemicals kind of bullshit. But yeah, I think it's great. If you like the original Batman, you'll like it. It's pretty short, like little, 20-minute episodes. I think there's 10 episodes in the season. I haven't finished it, but I am like, I tend to take my time with stuff like this. So I don't want to rush it. But yeah, if you like the Batman, like the animated series, this is a lot like that. And it is on Amazon Prime. So, and they released the whole season once because they don't want anybody to watch it. So I would recommend people watch it all at once, I guess, because otherwise, what's the point? So yeah, those things. Next week, Borderlands. DJ, have you anything to plug?
Just Roses and Rejections as we continue marching. I think we're at the midpoint for the Bachelorette season, and it's been pretty good, honestly. I can't remember if I mentioned, we talked about The Mole in our most recent episode because we finished that, and sorry if I'm saying that for a second time. And I think I already mentioned this on the pod, but it finally came out, the Batman by the Numbers pod that was the Batman draft, the 2-year Batman draft, that like finally came out. So I'm just re-saying it because now it's available. If before you're like, oh, I want to listen to this 3-hour podcast of a Batman draft, but I can't find it. Now you can find it. It's on the Pop Break podcast feed. Diggins, how about you?
Only that you guys know a little Twitter account called Mostly Nitpicking Out of Context?
I've heard of it.
Oh, yeah, I have heard of it.
They started updating again, and I like that Twitter account, so I want to give them a little shout out. I think it's fun to look at what an insane thing I said and have totally forgotten about every once in a while.
I think it's great that the profile picture is Mithrigan. I think it captures the essence of our podcast.
Big fan of Mithrigan. Little did they know that it's the most influential movie ever made, apparently, now, because it's just every movie is gonna be Mithrigan, but with a different actor or with different setting. So
exactly,
it's pretty cool.
Sometimes they even bring in their own Megan.
Yeah, exactly. We're running out of Megans, though. I mean, I don't know. There's probably a couple other Megans, but I can't even think of any off the top of my head. Megan Thee Stallion, I guess. She's going to have to be the next one.
Megan Mullally.
Yeah, she's a good one. All right, we got enough Megans for a couple of these movies. I think that'll make
What
money.
about you, Nando? Anything to plug?
The usual videos. I was actually on the Pop Break podcast last week talking about Deadpool and Wolverine stuff. I don't remember if I plugged it because I don't remember which one came out in what order. But if you want to listen to that, that's probably like 1 week behind. But that was fun. We're talking about Wolverine, Deadpool stuff. I have a couple videos out or on their way out. So I put out my Borderlands review if you want to see how I feel about that movie. And you can't read any of the context clues that we've already given. I get a little bit more specific, but not too specific. So there will still be stuff to, like, if you're, I want to hear the podcast and I don't want to be spoiled. This won't spoil it very much. I also have some new Snap videos. We're doing the Young Avengers. I've got a Kate Bishop one that's out, a Novar Marvel Boy one that's out, and then a Wiccan one and a Speed one that are coming. I also made a video recapping D23 stuff that'll be out in a day or two from when we're recording this. Just looking at the one thing that I like from D23, which we already talked about here, but and looking at all the other stuff and going, that looks okay, or that looks weird, but one of those two mostly. And that's all on my channel, Nando V Movies and the Nando Cut. And some of it's on Nebula early, which is nice. Besides that, I don't know if I have a big Nando V Movies video that'll be out before the next podcast. So I'll wait till then to recommend it. Until next week, I've been at Nando V Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.
Peace.
We love you.